So guys, what if Kakashi and Kaguya already know the future of Naruto Uzumaki? Movie 2. Early Dawn, Hokage Monument. Naruto woke up earlier than usual. Actually, he barely even slept. It's been a while since the original Team 7 took an official mission together. Not just a while, it has been almost a decade, with the last time had happened before Sasuke departed from Konoha after their first battle in the Valley of the End. Feeling the chill of the morning dew, Naruto then began his usual daily routine. Kuchio's no jutsu summoning technique. Naruto then summoned 2 big scrolls of similar size to that of what Jiraiya used to carry on his back. Kage Bunshin no jutsu shadow clone technique. Naruto then created a clone. He and that clone then opened the 2 scrolls respectively, positioned horizontally, side by side with each other. The opened scrolls each revealed 5 circular insignia with symbols and structures comparable to a summoning circle. The original Naruto then sat in meditating position a few meters away from the Bunshin and the 2 scrolls. The said Bunshin then performed a series hand seals, then slammed both its hands on the 2 big scrolls that were both on his sides, parallel to each other. In that instance, 10 Kage Bunshins, all sitting in the same meditating position as the original Naruto, appeared right above each of the summoning insignia of both scrolls, with 5 among the clones appearing on one of each scroll. The shadow clones have some minimal damage and bruises, implying that they have been through some sort of training from somewhere before the summoning, and indeed, the said clones that were summoned came directly from Mount Myokobu, the land of the Toad Sages. The 10 Kage Bunshins then opened their eyes simultaneously, then dispelled themselves at the same time, and due to the nature of the Kage Bunshins, all those training and experiences that each of the dispelled clones has been through came rushing into the main Naruto's mind, who's meditating in distance. The initial Kage Bunshin, on the other hand, also performed a Kage Bunshin hand seal, creating a new set of 10 shadow clones who, without further ado, immediately sat on the summoning insignia where the previously dispelled ones recently appeared, and with a hand seal, performed a reverse summoning method, sending the 10 clones themselves into where the previous ones came from. The initial Kage Bunshin who performed such then leapt away towards the direction of the Hyuga Manor, intending to inform Sarah and Hinata of his current mission, while the original Naruto reopened his eyes after adjusting himself and his mind from the new learnings and such that his earlier 10 Bunshins have acquired for the past 24 hours. Flashback. Multiple copies of Naruto can be seen performing various training activities from every corner of Mount Myokobu. Some were doing sparring against each other with restrictions like ninjutsu restricted or ninjutsu only battles. Some were learning bukijutsu. Some were reading scrolls for new jutsus, some sitting in meditating position on platforms on top of the spiky stones of the sacred grounds, and such. All these activities were being overseen and managed by the Toad Sages themselves, Fukusaku and Shima, as per the guidance of the elder Toad Sage. Fukusaku was currently with the original Naruto, performing various physical exercises to improve his own strength. Impressive, Fukusaku mentioned. You're amazing, Boya. You know, Toad Gigi, I can't even appreciate your praises anymore, Naruto commented while still performing push-ups with a massive toad statue situated on his back. Every day since I came here, I've been training my ass, for an entire day, only giving me a few minutes of break, and worst, you even adapted Kakashi-sensei training regime of using clones, for faster experience accumulation, Ugish. Yes, indeed, Fukusaku replied. The Kage Bunshin was nothing more than a mere distraction or intelligence-gathering jutsu if used by ordinary shinobi, but in your case, I can say that you being capable of performing such jutsu on a massive scale is such a cheat if it will going to be taken advantage of such as this. Now that your very own chakra levels reaching that of the first Hokages and the possibility of his chakra origin perfectly melding on your own due to that new right arm of yours, your clones are now much more durable and can take a hit 3 to 4 times more than the usual hits that your clones require to dispel in combat, so you're basically the only shinobi capable of doing this kind of training. But why? Because we believe that you have what it takes to surpass Hagoromo, not just in power, but also in your aim to acquire lasting peace for the shinobi world. I can't do that alone. There's Sasuke, everyone in the village, and also the other hidden villages. They were all working together to maintain this peace, Naruto rebutted. That's right. However, peace can only be acquired if you have the means to protect it, and you are the very symbol of that peace, the same as of Hagoromo during his time, so you need to have what it takes to protect that peace, and this training should allow you to be able to do so. My aim is to become the Hokage, and surpass the previous generation of Hokage, Naruto said to himself with a small smile. Well, if this training is what it takes for me to be able to do such, then so be it. That's the right attitude, Boya. Show Jiraiya that you have what it takes to realize his dream and ideals. Naruto and Fukusaku then exchanged a grin befitting of a master and student after their small conversation as Naruto returned to his training regime. Flashback end. That Gigi, giving me such pressure on my shoulders, Naruto sighed to himself after remembering such a conversation during one of their training sessions. All of a sudden, he saw a very dangerous intel that flashed to his mind from one of his shadow clones that had just recently dispelled. A new powerful Biju form, Baryon mode. Naruto said, his eyes widened. It seemed like one of his clones learned an entirely new level of power-up from the Bijus. However, a form that allows the user to gain power beyond all the other Biju transformations, with the additional effect that allows the user to deplete the life force of his opponent on every physical hit proportionate to the user's applied power on each attack, regardless of their durability and defenses. But the cost of accessing and using that form is the Biju's life force and existence, making them unable to revive and basically erasing their entire existence. Naruto gritted his teeth. No, I will never use that form, no matter what. Kurama, no, all the Bijus are my allies, not disposable tools. I'll never use that form, no matter what. Unless, Naruto, as if remembering something that changed his gloomy mood due to the discovery of the said new Biju form immediately into a determined one. I am an Uzumaki. Fuinjutsu runs in my blood, so I might be able to do something to circumvent the price that I have to pay to use that so-called Baryon mode. Naruto then watched as the daybreak came to be with renewed determination. Watch me, Dad, Mom, Arrow Sennin, Naruto smirked. I'll do my best to not disappoint you. Naruto then leapt from the sculptured head of the fourth Hokage down to the village, then leapt at massive speeds towards the direction of Konoha's gate where he sensed Sasuke and Sakura were currently assembling. Scene change. Oh, you're quite early. Kakashi, without his Hokage garb and hat, greeted Sasuke, who was wearing the same attire he had during the Ketsuryugan incident, and Sakura wearing the same mission gear she had during the battle against Tonari, both of them approaching the gate. Kakashi-sensei, you should still be resting, it still was outside of office hours, you know, Sakura said to their former teacher. What's wrong with having to see my beloved students take off on a mission together after such a long time? Kakashi gave his usual eye smile to the newly arrived couple. Sakura lightly blushed and smiled as she realized that Kakashi hit the mark. Sasuke, on the other hand, closed his eyes with a small smile on his face. If not because of my Hokage duties, I would have tagged along with the three of you, for old time's sake, Kakashi continued. As the current Hokage, all you need to do is to watch over the village for us. You've done more than enough for Team 7, it's our turn now, Sakura said on behalf of Sasuke. That's right, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said as he landed near them. Just sit your old ass back to the Hokage office, well handle the things you used to handle before, we're not kids anymore. Who? Even Naruto was up early, Kakashi replied, if he's not wearing his mask. These three former students of his could see a contagious smirk on their sensei's face. We better get moving, Sasuke said as he was the first one to turn around. He then performed a summoning jutsu, materializing two huge hawks with Rinnegan eyes. Sasuke and Sakura rode on the first one, Naruto on the other one. The hawks then began flapping their wings, and before flying away, Naruto gave a salute. Sakura waved, while Sasuke gave a side smirk to Kakashi before the hawks flew at high speed to their designated location. Seeing them like that, made me feel that my age has caught up to me, Kakashi said with a contented smile. Scene change. So, Naruto was currently on a mission, Sarah said as Naruto's Kage Bunshin disappeared after relaying the message. They were currently on the grounds, feeding the fish on the Hyuga Manor's man-made fish pond. It seems so, Hinata said with a smile. I bet if you will look at Naruto-kun right now, his face will be all smiles since this will be their first mission as Team 7 after quite a long while. You mean, with Uchiha Sasuke and Haruno Sakura, Sarah said, remembering parts of the stories that Hinata told her last night that involved the said Naruto's teammates, specifically, Uchiha Sasuke, the last Uchiha who Naruto considered as a brother and a rival, who defected the village and became a member of the Akatsuki. However, Naruto was able to reach his darkened heart and took him back to the village after defeating him during the end of the Fourth Shinobi War. By the way, according to Father, Hokage-sama had summoned you to the Hokage office, Hinata said. Do you have any idea why? None, but I'll go with you just in case. Thank you, that will be very reassuring. Oni-sama, Sarah-san. Hanabi then came calling, time for breakfast. The two of them then nodded to each other as they went together to the dining area together. Scene change. En route to Orochimaru's laboratory. So, Shin Uchiha was most likely a product of one of Orochimaru's test subjects, Sakura said to Sasuke. I knew it. It almost sounds so fishy having a guy like him turning a new leaf over so suddenly just because of his contributions during the Fourth Shinobi War. We're still not sure about that, Sasuke replied. Orochimaru might still be a shrewd person as he used to be, but he will never do such a thing as he is right now, given the current peace of the shinobi world. At the very least, he might have at least information about this Shin Uchiha, that's what I want to believe. Since we're on the topic, let me ask then, Sakura continued, how come someone like Orochimaru, who was performing illegal and inhumane experiments since way back then, attacked the village several times, killed the third Hokage, and the one who placed a cursed mark on you, was able to live freely and still could use his laboratory despite all the crimes he committed? The same question you should be asking why they let someone like roam around, Sasuke said indifferently, making Sakura lightly flinch. I defected from the village, joined Orochimaru at my own free will, then also joined the Akatsuki, attacked the 5-cage summit, murdered a Hokage candidate, attempted to kill the current cages under Infinite Tsukuyomi, and my intent to rule the world within the shadows, were more or less the same. Sasuke-kun, Orochimaru only has one desire, knowledge. The very reason why he was studying immortality was so he can use the longevity to gain all the knowledge he desired during his entire lifetime. Sasuke continued. The third Hokage didn't acknowledge his means of acquiring such knowledge, so he defected Konoha and attacked the village to prove himself. He attempted to take over my body because the Sharingan and its evolutionary forms held the key to that knowledge he sought. Orochimaru saw himself into Sasuke. Naruto butted in. They have the same starting line. Defecting the village for power and revenge, yet Sasuke, who has a Sharingan that Orochimaru was also aiming for, was able to take a different path from him. The moment Sasuke branched away from the path that Orochimaru had taken, was the point when he became interested in the path Sasuke intended to take. And more so the moment Sasuke unlocked the Rinnegan, the very peak of power that he had always sought. He wanted to see where the power of Rinnegan will take Sasuke, unlike the path that Madara decided to take since he already saw the end of Madara's path during the end of the Fourth Shinobi War, a path that Orochimaru knew where he might also end up with. Naruto finished his statement, earning a small smirk from Sasuke while Sakura gaped her mouth. Since when did you become such a keen observer, Naruto? Never mind. Not just that, you've changed a lot since your S-rank training. Just what kind of training? Change of topic, please, Sakura-chan. Naruto grinned at her pink-headed teammate. Sakura felt annoyed and began cracking her knuckles. Stop that, we're nearing Orochimaru's hideout, Sasuke said as the hawks carrying them began to descend. According to Kakashi, he already sent advance intel to the shinobi who's guarding the hideout for our arrival. Yamato Taiko. Naruto smiled, remembering the temporary team captain of Team 7 during Kakashi's absence. Naruto. Sasuke and Sakura landed a few hundred meters away from Orochimaru's laboratory, nearing the camouflaged entrance. So it's the three of you, huh? Yamato said as leaned near the entrance of the laboratory. Yamato Taiko. Naruto and Sakura greeted the two while Sasuke simply greeted him with a nod. Please, we are all equal shinobi of Konoha now, stop referring to me as such, Yamato replied with a small smile. Say what you want, you'll always be a captain for us, Naruto replied, his grin beaming. Hey, as cheeky as ever, Yamato said as he looked towards the camouflaged entrance. I have already heard the situation from the Rokudaime. As far as I know, since I am assigned on this post after the Fourth War as a gatekeeper for Orochimaru's house arrest, I have never seen any suspicious movement from him. Team 7 had different reactions to Yamato's comment. Since I can't just leave this post, you guys must go on your own. If Orochimaru really has involvement in this Shin Uchiha, then I should remain here so that I could pursue Orochimaru if you ended up cornering him and attempting to escape. Alright, let's go, Sasuke said as he just casually walked towards the camouflaged entrance of Orochimaru's laboratory. I know my way in there. Besides, there's no need to sneak around. For all we know, Orochimaru might have already known that we were coming at him. Naruto and Sakura then nodded to each other, then followed Sasuke as they entered the hidden laboratory. Scene change. Would you look at that? Suigetsu said as he stood in the middle of the hideout's hallway together with Jugo, blocking Team 7's path. It's been way too long, Sasuke, wouldn't it hurt you to visit us every once in a while? Uzumaki Naruto, and Haruno Sakura, Jugo said with his usual serious expression while looking at the two Konoha shinobi behind Sasuke. That will save us trouble then, Sasuke replied to his former Team Taka teammates. Suigetsu, Jugo, led me to where Orochimaru currently is. No need for that, a familiar voice echoed from the darker part of the hallway. The voice came from Orochimaru, still looking the same as of when they met him at the Forest of Death during the Chunin exam. You are the last person I expected to come and visit here again, Sasuke-kun. Naruto and Sakura became wary of the presence in front of them. Sure though, they were much stronger than before, but the memories of their past battles against the powerful Snake Sannin were still imprinted on their minds. Stop, you don't need to be this alarmed against me, Orochimaru said calmly, with Naruto being the Jinchuriki of all the tailed beasts, and Sakura being the apprentice of Tsunade who managed to master the Byakugo at such a young age, including Sasuke-kun who have both the abilities of the Sharingan and Rinnegan. I won't dare to fight a losing battle against the three of you even with Suigetsu and Jugo assisting me, more so if I don't have a valid reason for doing so. Good, now we can begin talking, Sasuke immediately said. A person attempted to attack me a few days ago, followed by another attempted ambush against Naruto and Hinata the following day, by a group of individuals with the same identical appearance as that of the one who attacked me. According to our investigation, he was most likely one of your subordinates. If you happen to be scheming something against us or Konoha, you had to best come clean now. I see, then if I may ask, Orochimaru said with narrowed eyes towards Sasuke, have I done anything suspicious before you even began accusing me? If so, what's the point of having that shinobi outside watching out for me for 24 hours? Then, the information from the investigation was still pointed towards you, Sasuke retorted. Do you happen to know a person with genetically implanted Sharingan eyes who dared call himself under the name Shin Uchiha? If you know him or his whereabouts, it would be best to tell us everything you knew about him. Orochimaru didn't avert his eyes from the Rinnegan user. My dear guests, please follow me, come this way. The group followed Orochimaru in one of the deepest parts of the hideout. Upon entering a room, the group then saw multiple, capsule-like transparent chambers filled with some sort of water-like substance, storing different kinds of creatures, and some even resembled dismembered parts of human bodies. Seeing such, both Naruto and Sakura clenched their fist as they couldn't believe that Orochimaru was still doing such heinous activities. Before all of you misinterpret my current test subjects, let me first inform you that these didn't come from actual human body parts. They were cultivated human cells, then reconstructed into such part of the human body for the sole purpose of performing my research, Orochimaru said with a taunting smirk towards the two, while Sasuke simply sighed due to Orochimaru's blatant taunts. Human cells were not capable of fully recreating body parts to such an extent no matter how much or what kind of method you used to cultivate it, Sakura said with a serious expression. Being a medical ninja, she somewhat has an idea of how human cells actually work. That's the point, Orochimaru said as he showed them one of the larger transparent tanks, with a naked person scooted like a little baby with attached tubes on various parts of its body. Its appearance was enough for Team 7 to recognize. This is another clone of that Shin Uchiha, Naruto said. He can sense that the one within the transparent tank was no longer alive. Why do you have a lifeless Shin Uchiha in here, Orochimaru? This is a failed, lifeless clone of one of those same Shin Uchihas you have encountered before that I have created a few years ago before Sasuke killed me. However, its cells were being maintained to prevent decomposition for my experiments, Orochimaru replied. The original Shin was once one of my test subjects. As you already know, he wasn't part of the Uchiha clan. He only used that surname due to his obsession with the Uchihas, particularly that of Itachi's. Team 7, with Suigetsu and Jugo, continued to listen to Orochimaru. Every once in a while, a human with unique physical or genetic makeup would be born, just like Senju Hashirama, Uchiha Madara, and the two of you, Uchiha Sasuke and Uzumaki Naruto. We can just say that Shin can be counted among you, whom I categorize as anomalies. Shin Uchiha came from a clan of shinobi who have mastered dark medical arts and ninjutsu. That clan is capable of incision and medical operation, using even their own physical bodies, to perform jutsus, including kinjutsus, for them to accomplish their one, singular goal. And that goal is, Sakura inquired, to revive an ancient demon named Morio. Orochimaru replied, the name Morio was quite familiar to Naruto and Sakura, more so to Naruto as he have already fought directly against it before. However, since Shin had defected from that clan, and after understanding that he has quite a unique anomaly, I fought and captured him, and during his captivity, I negotiated with him, bribing him with a Sharingan, so he ended up working for me and so I can take advantage of his unique anomaly for my experiments. Shin's anomaly is his genetic makeup. He possesses a unique physical body that accepts anything transplanted into it without rejection. That's why I also became interested in taking over his body, just like how I intend to with you, Sasuke, and your brother, Itachi. Due to this unique genetic makeup, I cloned his body over and over again, just like the one on this tank in front of you, in an attempt to further my knowledge of human bodies and genetics. That's why when I implanted a Mangekyo Sharingan into the original Shin's right eye, every clone that was created from his cells and tissues from then on acquired and also got immediate access to Sharingan and Mangekyo Sharingan of the same kind and abilities during their cultivation and growth despite them not having any relationship to the Uchiha. However, after you defeated me, Sasuke, he defected from the laboratory together with several of his clones and also some of my cloning technologies. Then, he created his own laboratory, and continued creating clones using his own genes. Clones, Naruto muttered upon hearing the familiar term for him. They are not just mere bunchins, his clones were all real living humans. The only way for those clones to disappear is to kill them. You're really rotten to the core, Orochimaru, Sakura said after hearing Orochimaru's explanation. So you're using those alive, living clones to replace body parts of those you intend to use in your studies and experiments pertaining to human anatomy. That's all in the past. I did all of that in pursuit of knowledge and in an attempt to learn powerful jutsus, Orochimaru rebutted. That's why, whatever things that Shin was doing right now, and whatever his intent is now beyond me. How can we be sure that you're not doing something dangerous this time and attack our village again? What made you decide to change your mind about your pursuit of knowledge? Sakura once again asked Orochimaru. Let's just say that I have already seen the end of my ideals, through Madara, Orochimaru replied, verifying the statement of Naruto earlier while they were on their way towards the hideout. Sasuke already has a Rinnegan. That kind of power is the one I've been seeking since I came to be. With him taking a different path than me and Madara, I'd like to see how this path of his will turn out. And besides, as I have mentioned, his Rinnegan was capable of seeing things beyond mere ordinary eyes, so all I have to do is to use his own Rinnegan for my own research to further my knowledge, right, Sasuke? What do you mean by that? Naruto this time glared towards Orochimaru. I've been collaborating with Orochimaru since the end of the war, Sasuke simply answered, surprising his teammates. While the village is the one who handles things in the limelight, there should be someone from its shadows to do what's needed to be done. Without Orochimaru, that ordeal with the exploding humans back then would have become quite problematic to deal with. Naruto and Sakura can't help but feel surprised by Sasuke's revelation. And right now, I've been giving him all the support I could get, including any findings and information I acquire for tracking Kaguya and the Otsutsukis. His curiosity for knowledge knows no bounds. If he gets information, he has the right mind and tools to create experiments, hypotheses, and logical conclusions based on currently available information. Why are you not telling the village, or at the very least, Kakashi-sensei? Naruto inquired but with a serious expression. Because it will produce nothing but unnecessary trouble, Sasuke simply replied. I already knew everything that Sasuke discussed with the cages a few days ago, Orochimaru butted in. In fact, it wasn't just Sasuke's investigation, but also my own analysis of that information that led to such a conclusion. I might be a shrewd person, but I am not stupid enough to let this world be destroyed by those otherworldly beings and halt my quest for knowledge. If I can contribute in some way, then I'll do it in my own way. While not much, those words from Orochimaru somewhat gave Sakura and Naruto a new outlook regarding the Sannin. After all, it wasn't refutable that he indeed set aside his differences with Konoha and helped the Shinobi Alliance during the Fourth Shinobi War, possibly for that same reason. Very well, we don't have any other things to do here, except for you to tell us where this Shin Uchiha's hideout currently is. Being your former test subject, you should have, at the very least, was able to investigate his tracks, right? Sasuke asked. Here, Orochimaru tossed a scroll containing a map to Sasuke. The Uchiha gave it to Sakura. The Pinkett then opened the scroll. Sakura and Naruto then looked in curiosity towards the map, and it made them narrow their eyes. Their hideout was located on a certain rocky terrain in the land of swamps. Sakura said as she observed the map. Why do I feel like there's more to it than it seems? Naruto muttered, also feeling that they were missing something important regarding the current information they have on hand, specifically the location of the hideout being on that specific location on the land of the swamps. However, before you leave, I still have something interesting that I have yet to show you, Orochimaru said with a small smirk. If it wasn't related to the things we're collaborating with, then you better not waste our time, Sasuke rebutted to the snake Sannin. Really? Orochimaru then walked towards another part of the room. Then, he pulled down a seemingly sturdy breaker, making a certain wall of the room rolled up slowly. The room displayed another transparent tank filled with a water-like substance, with another test subject floating on it, attached with various cords all over it while floating within the tank. It was a humanoid, lower half body from waist to feet, as if it was bisected away horizontally away from its upper body from a humanoid being, and upon looking carefully. This is, Sasuke said with visible surprise on his eyes. The missing half-body, Sakura also have the same expression. Of Uchiha Madara, while in 6 paths form after absorbing the God Tree. Naruto said, his eyes also widening. Indeed, Orochimaru smirked. This was the half-body of Uchiha Madara with the power of the 6 paths. This was left behind right after he stole Hatake Kakashi's Sharingan for him to chase Obito by using Kamui. Remember, you bisected him in half that time, Sasuke, before being able to warp with Kamui, and this half-body itself was what the Sage of the 6 Paths himself used to materialize himself while the entire world was under infinite Tsukuyomi in order to summon you and the Bijus back to this world after you have defeated and successfully sealed Otsutsuki Kaguya. The lower half of Madara's body was able to regenerate back then, even during that time when he's reclaiming one of his Rinnegan eyes from Obito in the Kamui dimension, Sakura muttered, remembering the sequence of events. But still, how did you acquire this? How come you didn't inform Konoha about it? Why would I? This is the half-body of a person with a pure Uchiha bloodline who happens to have fully cultivated Hashirama's cells capable of entering Sage mode, 6 Paths power, 10 Tails chakra, and the absorbed Shinju itself, among others. This is currently my most important test subject that could give almost all the information and knowledge that I might need about the power of the shinobi, the origin of chakra, and also, information about the Otsutsukis. And how come you also have that? Naruto pointed out a very important relic enclosed in a transparent glass case on the other side of the room, and that relic was none other than the Uchiha stone tablet. Why did you also allow Orochimaru to acquire that stone tablet, Sasuke? I personally allowed him to use it for his research purposes, Sasuke replied neutrally. The Sage of the 6 Paths is said to be the one who had created this stone tablet regarding some information that must be told for the future generations, yet Black Zetsu tampered the information in there in order to change its contents for the purpose of manipulating the Uchihas, specifically Indra Otsutsuki's reincarnations, into awakening the Rinnegan and reviving Kaguya. So I need Orochimaru's knowledge and tools in order to restore the real information included within the stone tablet before its tampering, because I believe that we could get some valuable information in there regarding the Otsutsukis. For someone who doesn't trust Orochimaru, you sure have given him a lot of favors, Suigetsu said with a taunting smirk. Indeed, Sasuke said while looking towards the snake Sannin, while all the information we have were still mere speculations, but still, in order to prepare for the inevitable confrontation with the Otsutsukis, we need as much information as we can get regarding or against them. Something that the Hidden Village and even the Shinobi Alliance won't be capable of. That's why I'll have to entrust the confidentiality of this collaboration between me and Orochimaru to the two of you. Naruto and Sakura once again felt conflicted against Sasuke's moves, however, they can fully understand where the Uchiha was coming from. Understood, Naruto replied, still with a serious expression, but if Orochimaru took advantage of whatever information he acquired against us, we'll have the entire Shinobi Alliance go after him in full force. Orochimaru smirked, like what I have said, I desire knowledge, nothing more, nothing less. Most of the things I needed for my research were already right in front of me, and I also have someone with the Rinnegan who's willing to cooperate with me. I'll be too busy doing what I've yearned to do my entire life just to stray away and do something so trivial like attempting to do something against your village or such. You can enjoy the fragile peace you worked so hard for all I care. Now then, for the one that I actually need to show you, specifically for Sasuke-kun. Orochimaru then once again pressed another hidden button on the wall, revealing a transparent rectangular-shaped tank filled with water-like substance. Naruto and Sakura, once again, have their eyes in fully surprised reaction while Sasuke merely narrowed his eyes. A left arm created from the cultivated cells of Six Paths Madara's lower half, Orochimaru smirked towards Sasuke, a left arm specifically created and designed just for you, Sasuke-kun. Orochimaru, you. Sasuke looked towards the snake Sannin seriously after he saw the said left arm. It's not just Orochimaru's idea, a female voice echoed from the darkness, revealing herself to be the sole female member of Team Taka, Uzumaki Karen. It was me, and I personally engineered that arm, just for you, my beloved Sasuke-kun, she said with a coy smile, her right index finger tracing her own lips. Gah! Sakura had a comical expression on her face. Naruto tilted his head with a resounding "huh" coming out of his mouth, while Sasuke felt multiple throbbing veins itching on his forehead. Sasuke intently looked towards the left arm that Orochimaru and Karen collaboratively created using the cells of Six Path Madara's bisected lower half. Using both his Sharingan and Rinnegan, he can easily see and feel the overflowing Six Paths power being emitted by the said cultivated left arm. It felt like if he ever decided to have it installed to supplement his missing limb and the Six Paths chakra within that arm was able to meld with his own Six Paths chakra properly, he will be able to reach, no, he might even surpass Six Path Madara's full power. The only problem was that, Sasuke can sense that the said left arm might also contain Madara's will and consciousness, and if he let his guard down, it might corrupt him just like how Madara corrupted Obito before. On the other hand, Karen, Sakura muttered towards Sasuke's former Team Taka member. Sakura-san, Karen also said to the Uchiha's Team 7 teammate. The two women walked towards each other with a serious expression. Naruto and Suigetsu had comical sweat on their faces. Jugo gave a puzzling reaction, while Sasuke and Orochimaru simply ignored the two girls. It's been a while, Sakura-san. You haven't changed a bit, Karen. The two smiled at each other. While the smiles were seemingly sweet between the two, Naruto and Suigetsu can easily imagine a shadow of a red tiger and a pink dragon behind them, glaring at each other. How have you been? Are you taking care of Sasuke properly? Is it tiring for you? If you're getting tired of doing so, I'll take care of him for you, Karen said with a big smile. No, not really. In fact, it was Sasuke-kun who's taking good care of me. He always appreciated my cooking so much that he even said that he would always prefer to eat them every day. Sakura returned the big smile to the red-haired girl. Are you sure about that? I've heard that Sasuke was outside of the village most of the time, so your statement regarding your cooking is a bit far-fetched, and since you're not accompanying him during his missions outside your village, I don't think Sasuke would mind if I'll be the one to tag along. Having someone with him during his solo missions would only slow him down. And besides, solo missions are solo missions. I am not stupid enough to include myself in a two-man cell if the said missions are meant to be taken in solo. The two girls bickered with each other without removing the big sweet smile on their faces. Naruto and Suigetsu further made comical sweats, as if already expecting the two girls to begin physical confrontation once they ended up losing the will to settle things with mere talks. The two continued their dangerous exchange of smiles. Then, after a few seconds of silence. The two girls gave a long sigh at the same time, earning an intelligent A. From Naruto and Suigetsu, the two girls once again smiled at each other, but this time, without any animosity between the two. Is it over? What happened? Naruto asked Suigetsu. I don't know, it's them, you'll only end up having seizures trying to understand women, Suigetsu replied. Since we are on this topic, then I'll have something to say, Sasuke then said. This time, his expression is gentler than his usual stern one. Orochimaru, I'll be taking Karen as my second wife. It'll still be her decision to continue working with you, but in any case, I'll still have her be as my wife. Ga. Once again, Naruto and Suigetsu had their mouths hanging. Even Orochimaru wasn't able to hide his surprise, while Sakura simply sighed comically as if already expecting the sudden statement from Sasuke. Naruto immediately looked towards Sakura with a worried expression. However, much to his surprise, Sakura seemed to have already come to terms with it. It seemed like Sasuke and Sakura have already discussed and somewhat finally have an agreement regarding it, so it will now all depend on how the relationship will work between Sakura and Karen. Karen, on the other hand, found herself staring into nothingness with the color of her face much redder than her hair and with visible steam popping out of her head. What she just heard from Sasuke made her seem like her reasoning had just evaporated to the clouds. Sasuke smirked, as he seemed to enjoy everyone's reaction due to what he just said. Oi, Sasuke, Naruto said to his friend as if trying to ask him something. What of it? Sasuke asked. Sakura and I have already talked about it. I know that I will be unfair to her, and even for Karen in that matter, but that simply was how just the situation on hand currently is. They have the right to get angry, or even reject marrying me if they won't be able to accept and come to terms with it themselves. And I'll accept and respect whatever their decision may be, but the two of them, Sakura and Karen, were the two women who genuinely loved me despite all the crimes I did back then. I even attempted to kill both of them on separate occasions at some point due to my blind hatred, and this will be the only way that I know on how I can reciprocate what they feel for me. Sasuke-kun, Sasuke. The two girls gave a soft smile after hearing Sasuke's words. The two of them knew more than anyone that Sasuke is an awkward person in terms of expressing his true feelings, thus, also wasn't good at understanding the feelings of those around him. Yet him being able to say those words made them realize that their respective feelings still reached him in some way, to the point that it made him feel guilty for doing those horrible things against them in the past. And besides, you also already have another girl aside from Hinata, right? Sasuke said with a neutral smirk towards Naruto, making the blonde jolt comically. So we're just the same. In the end, we have no choice but to abide by that law. But we must prioritize first and foremost, ourselves and the village. In regard to complying with that law, I don't intend to become their pawn, but that doesn't mean I'll not consider the feelings of those who value me as who I am right now. While I may not still like it that much, it seemed like we'll become comrade in arms starting right now, Sakura said to Karen. Are you really okay with it, Sakura? Karen asked earnestly, her facial expression entirely different from the one she used to have as it displayed some sort of concern for her. While they might be rivals for Sasuke's affection, Karen also considered Sakura as a close friend. Sakura saved her during the time when she was mortally injured during Sasuke's fight against Danzo, and Sakura did so while crying in front of her after personally experiencing Sasuke's growing darkness by then firsthand. At that time, both of them were attempted to be killed by Sasuke, but at the same time, both of them can't just let him go, respectively, so in a way, Karen doesn't have any ill will against Sakura, aside from their rivalry for Sasuke's attention. I'd rather have to deal with you than deal with those nobles from other countries aiming for Sasuke through arranged or political marriage, Sakura smiled. Like what Sasuke has said, you're just like me, we didn't give up on him during his darkest hours, so I'd rather have you be his second wife than those nobles. So I am the second wife. Karen muttered, but you're still not married, right? So I still have a good chance for Sasuke to reconsider and make me her first wife. Don't get ahead of yourself, you masochist. Sakura comically replied to Karen this time. It seemed like those two will get along pretty fine, Suigetsu said with a smirk. In a way, he's happy that Karen was able to reach Sasuke in some form or another. Moving on, Orochimaru lightly coughed while clearing his thoughts and getting everyone's attention. What about it, Sasuke? It would be in your best interest if you'll have that arm installed into your missing limb, Orochimaru said with a smirk. I need to ask beforehand, Sasuke replied, what is the intent of the creation of that left arm, specifically since it was constructed from the cells of six paths Madaros? Because Naruto's right arm was created from pure Hashirama's cells, Orochimaru replied. What does it have to do with my right arm? I mean, I am not against Sasuke having restored his left arm, but Tsunade Bachan already had created a left arm with a structure more or less similar to my right arm. Why does it have to be a left arm created from six-path Madara's cells in your case? Naruto asked the Sannin. That is because of you and Hashirama's being compatible anomalies in more ways than one, Orochimaru replied to Naruto. You may not notice it yet, but due to both you and the first Hokage being the Ashura Otsutsuki's reincarnation, your genetic makeup, chakra, DNA, and everything else was nearly the same. Basically, the two of you have the same chakra origin, so the chakra between the two of you will meld seamlessly. However, Hashirama himself can be categorized as an anomaly among the anomalies. His chakra, life force and cells, and all were in an entirely different category. After performing various experiments and such this entire time concerning his cells, you can say that Hashirama is only human because he was born as a human, but everything else about him wasn't that of a human. Just imagine, a single man with chakra potency surpassing those of Bijus, can fight and overpower a majestic attire Susanoo-clad, full-powered nine tails, with that Susanoo itself was created by Madara's own chakra whose power also can be considered as beyond Biju level. It defies every law and logic that has already been established regarding chakra levels and potency, and we're merely talking about his chakra levels alone. Naruto and Sasuke intently listened to Orochimaru's words. His life force and regenerative capability were so broken that he can regenerate dangerous damages similar to that of Edo Tensei, albeit a bit slower, with just the mere strength of his life force without using any jutsu, that even Tsunade's Byakugo barely matching up to his regeneration in comparison. That was the very reason itself why his cells themselves were considered alive even if they were cut out away from Hashirama's own body, even after his death, and were used for various experiments, including by myself and Uchiha Madara. Also, the final anomaly to his very existence is his Mokuden Kekkai Genkai. His Kekkai Genkai, supported by his powerful chakra, was enough to subdue the Bijus like ordinary mere pets. His Mokuden itself was brimming with life force. Unlike Yamato's Mokuden, Hashirama's Mokuden not just absorbs, but also produces natural energy itself. In other words, he can access Senjutsu and enter Sage mode by either absorbing natural energy or simply converting fragments of his own massive chakra to Senjutsu. That's why Hashirama can easily enter Sage mode in a heartbeat, connecting everything. All that I can summarize about Hashirama was his power is that of the Shinju. No, he, himself, is the incarnation of the Shinju, the god tree itself in human form. A gene that was passed down from Ashura directly to Hashirama with none of his previous predecessors being able to harness it except for him. And the only explanation I can think of was that during the time of Ashura's conception, the sage of the six paths still have the Jubi sealed within him. In one way or another, some form of the Jubis fragment has been transferred to Ashura, then to his descendants, without knowing how to unlock it, or even knowing about it in the first place, and only Hashirama was able to unlock it through some unknown means, with him not even knowing it. Naruto and Sasuke got surprised. That itself explained why Hashirama was broken powerful. But still, what does it have to do with my right arm? Naruto once again inquired. Uzumaki Naruto, just like Senju Hashirama, is a descendant and also a reincarnation of Ashura Otsutsuki. Both of you somewhat inherited something from Ashura in some form or another. Orochimaru said, Hashirama inherited the Shinju part of Ashura's power. However, in your part, I believe that what you have inherited from your Ashura genes was the ability to adapt your chakra into various forms. Hence, the reason why your Biju transformations were entirely different from the other Jinchuriki's transformations, yet at the same time, very reminiscent to that of Ashura's own chakra modes and chakra avatar transformations. The very moment Hashirama's cells were attached to you through that right arm of yours, every cell within your body gradually began its metamorphosis due to the ability of your chakra to adapt to additional chakra origins being installed within you. Due to Ashura Otsutsuki's influence, Hashirama's powerful DNA and the adaptive capabilities of your DNA allowed both your cells to meld into one another seamlessly. resulting in your very own DNA evolving into similar to that of Hashirama, and that's not counting the unique properties of your own cells as an Uzumaki, so your cells now have powerful DNA akin to the first Hokage's. And with both yours and the first's chakra reaching on equal levels. Then melding together, that will create an entirely different, yet much more powerful DNA than the both of you individually. You're basically a Jinchuriki of your own chakra, and it can be interpreted that Hashirama's cells now pale in comparison to the current properties of your own cells, Naruto, but I believe that you already knew at least that much since you've undergone and completed your training with the Toad Sages, am I right? Yes, I already knew at least that much, Naruto simply answered, opting Orochimaru to continue. But here is the catch, Orochimaru continued, you're currently the Jinchuriki of all the tailed beasts, a feat that should be impossible for an ordinary shinobi since even a single Biju could easily cripple even those who should be compatible to become a Jinchuriki, yet you were able to house all one of them without any difficulty. And basically, you now have the power and life force of the Shinju due to having Hashirama's DNA. Further amplified by your own DNA that has already been adapted and now with properties surpassing that of the first's. The Shinju is the true form of the 10 tails. Basically, if Hashirama is the embodiment of the Shinju due to his Mokuten and powerful chakra, then it can be interpreted as being the Jinchuriki of all the Bijus. You have physical characteristic as that of the Geto Mazo, or to put it simply, you're the embodiment of the Geto Meizu itself, due to being the vessel of all the Bijus, Uzumaki Naruto. And since all the Bijus are within me, basically, if I happen to go all out right now, you're saying that I have the potential to rival that of Kaguya Otsutsuki's power, chakra-wise, is what you're trying to say. Naruto answered seriously. Everyone, even Sasuke, was stunned after hearing Naruto's revelation. While Orochimaru already expected this much, he still felt some beads of sweat running down his face as well after hearing the conclusion from Naruto's mouth himself. But that's not all, Orochimaru said. Stop. Naruto replied to Orochimaru before the Sannin could continue. Basically, due to your hypothesis regarding this Shinju and Geto Mazo thing, with both of their properties now active within my own body, you need Sasuke to have that left arm from Six Paths Murata's cells installed into him so that he can also acquire a power level to rival that of my full power, am I right? Indeed, but that still is a decision for Sasuke to decide. Orochimaru and Naruto then looked towards Sasuke, who also still happened to have visible sweat forming on his forehead due to Orochimaru's revelation of Naruto's potential current power level. Sasuke then collected himself, then sighed, I'll think about it for now, we still have a mission to complete, I'll have you know my decision after that. Very well, Orochimaru smirked towards Sasuke. Sasuke then began walking away in the direction of the exit of Orochimaru's laboratory. Sakura hesitated but immediately followed, then Jugo, Karen and Suigetsu also followed suit, leaving Naruto and Orochimaru in the laboratory. Why did you have to say that? Naruto asked Orochimaru in a serious tone. Sasuke has as much potential as you, and I don't want him limit to his growth just because he already has the Rinnegan. Orochimaru replied, it was said that Ashura inherited the Six Paths body and life force, while Indra inherited the Six Paths eyes and chakra, and your body was growing in conjunction to that. Sasuke's on the other hand, needs to increase the power of his eyes for you to be able to fight on par against the Otsutsukis, so I need to say that much for him to seriously think about it. But what if he strays his path once again due to your meddling? Do you have that little faith in your friend? Don't twist your logic in me. Both of you are the current embodiment of my ideals, Orochimaru said to Naruto. For me to see the ending of the path that both of you decided to take, I need the two of you to unlock your full potentials that were still sleeping deep within you, and I won't become this offensive against the two of you if there's no threat looming on the horizon. Basically, you two are my test subjects, and I want to see the end result of the experiments and hypothesis that I am expecting from the two of you. And here I thought you've changed for the better. I just accepted that I am a mere human being, not some reincarnation of some powerful being who can do things that I can never hope to do. In the end, all I can do is leave it to those who should be capable of doing so. Naruto and Orochimaru looked towards each other with serious eyes, before deciding to follow the group who exited the laboratory earlier. Scene change. Sasuke-kun. Sakura muttered as she was looking towards Sasuke, the three of them were once again riding on Sasuke's Rinnegan-empowered hawks on the way to Shin Uchiha's hideout according to the map that Orochimaru gave them. The Uchiha never spoke another word since they left Orochimaru's laboratory, making Sakura somewhat worried about him. But still, I already knew that the first cells in DNA have such powerful properties, but to think that Naruto's cells were compatible to him, and now his cells also have the same property as Hashirama due to this reincarnation thing, I still don't know what to say, Sakura mused within her mind. Sakura, Sasuke spoke in a gentle voice, don't worry about me, I know what Orochimaru intended to tell me, I just need some time to think. Sasuke-kun, Sakura replied. For now, let's just focus on defeating Shin Uchiha before things went worst, Sasuke said, this time, giving a side glance smile towards his fiancée. Sakura then returned the smile. She was afraid that Sasuke might get jealous of Naruto's power and growth yet again, yet for her to see him smiling like that after the earlier conversation with Orochimaru was so refreshing for her. Naruto, on the other hand, already knew by himself everything that Orochimaru have mentioned regarding the relationship between his and Hashirama's cells, because not only that his chakra and the first's didn't just meld together, they meld and augmented each other. If Hashirama is the Shinju, and he is the Geto Mazo, with all the tailed beasts existing within him, one could say that he was literally, by all means, a pseudo-10 tails right now. And that's not all, and even he was afraid of what he's capable of if he ever went full power. But for now, there's a mission at hand, they need to stop whatever Shin Uchiha was plotting, then think from there on while moving forward. I believe that you'll make the right decision in terms of the installation of your left arm, Sasuke, Naruto said while looking at the back of his friend and rival. Scene change. They're coming, the original Shin Uchiha muttered to the other Shin Uchiha kids, the ones who fought and were injured during their battle against Naruto before had now more or less back in shape and capable of fighting, but now there were more Shin Uchiha kids, ranging from a few hundred of sorts. However, the small, deformed creature with the same Sharingan similar to the other kids capable of space-time warping, was nowhere in sight within the vicinity. All the Shin Uchiha kids activated their Mangekyo Sharingan, and each of them was equipped with various bladed weapons, and all were marked by their Mangekyo ability to fully leverage the weapons at their fullest. After all, they'll be fighting the current most powerful three-man cell in the entire shinobi world, and due to some poorly executed ambush against Sasuke and Naruto, they'll now have to face this inevitable predicament of fighting the three of them head-on. But they must succeed, they must win and triumph against them, as this will be their first step in reviving their own version of Akatsuki, and also, to execute their actual intended plan. Flashback. This is bad, Shin Uchiha muttered to himself after the failed attacks and attempts to lure Uchiha Sasuke and Uzumaki Naruto in his attempt, together with his clones, to capture them and use them for his plans. That's right, you have already failed more than once, Shin, a low voice from a man spoke from the shadows, surprising Shin Uchiha. Shin's eyes widened upon hearing the voice and recognizing who was the person who just spoke to him. Shin looked towards the direction where he just heard the voice. There stood two hooded figures. One of them is a huge man with an intimidating presence, and then the other is a woman with a petite figure, yet her presence alone made Shin realize that she was more powerful than the hulking figure behind her. Boro-sama, Delta-sama, Shin said, lightly stuttering due to the presence of the two. The organization accepted you since you defected Orochimaru's laboratory, and even funded you for this sole purpose, yet you did nothing but failure. The female voice spoke with scorn towards Shin. As an outer, this will be your last chance to prove your worth to the organization, or else, we'll just have to eliminate you before you become a liability for us. I sincerely apologize, Delta-sama, Shin said as he lowered his head. Rest assured, this time, I will succeed on my plan without fail. Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke must be eliminated, no matter what. The two hooded figures then disappeared before Shin Uchiha could finish his statement, making Shin grit his teeth in anger, as he no longer had a choice but to settle everything once and for all. Flashback end. Damn that organization, you're the ones who approached me, yet you're threatening me like this. Exclamation mark. Shin clenched his fists, then looked towards the sky, towards the direction of the two peculiar huge birds rushing towards his hideout. I don't need to prove anything to that organization. I only intended to take advantage of the funds that you yourselves, offered when you approached me. I will rebuild the Akatsuki with my own hands, and once I do, I'll make sure to handle that organization myself, like what I am about to do, to Uchiha Sasuke and Uzumaki Naruto. Scene change. According to Orochimaru's map, this is the area, Sasuke said, looking towards a seemingly canyon-structured land that can now be easily seen as being camouflaged by some sort of chakra barrier to repel long-distance detection. I can sense them within the barrier, and their number is quite a lot, Naruto muttered, sensing their opponents through Senjutsu without entering Sage mode, and each of them has their own active Mangekyo Sharingan capable of controlling metallic weapons upon contact. This will be interesting. Sakura cracked her knuckles. It's been a while since we had a good fight. But still, my gut feeling was telling me that something is in there, Naruto said with a serious expression. A rocky terrain in the land of swamps. For Shin Uchiha to choose this location as his hideout, I think we're missing something very important. If that's the case, then let's just end this as swiftly as possible. If something came up, let's simply deal with it on hand. If it's too much, retreat and regroup, Sasuke said as he dispelled his Rinnegan-summoned hawks while still suspended midair. Naruto. If you say so. Naruto then threw a kunai attached with an explosive tag as the three of them were in free fall due to the disappearance of the summoned hawks. But unlike those regular explosive tags, this one had a much more intricate insignia embedded on it. The very moment that the said kunai pinned itself on the camouflaged barrier, Naruto performed a single-hand seal. Ninpu. Gojuki Bakufuda, intersecting exploding talismans. The special talisman exploded, destroying a huge part of the barrier, and on the instant, during the jutsu's activation, the explosion also summoned multiple copies of the same exploding talismans, landing on the other parts of the barrier, then exploded once again. The explosion from the other talismans, once again, summoned their own set of additional exploding talismans, explode again while simultaneously summoning a new set of the same talismans, then rinse and repeat. Thus creating an ever-expanding, serial converging explosion that destroyed most of the camouflaged barrier. And as if to further the power of the explosion, Kaden. Goukameissshitsu, fire release, great fire annihilation. Sasuke needed and fired a massive Kaden variant, targeting the still exploding talismans. The combination jutsu from Naruto and Sasuke created a massive explosion on the area, shaking the entire canyon and producing a few hundred feet mushroom cloud in its wake. Team 7 then landed on the ground, and with a single chakra-charged swipe from Sakura's right arm, cleared the smoke and dust around them. In that instance, they sensed huge amounts of shurikens and kunais aiming towards them, thrown by their opposition within the areas that were still being covered by the dust and smoke due to the earlier explosion. And with Naruto releasing chakra similar to the way Hashirama used to. The sudden chakra burst blew away the incoming thrown weapons while cracking the ground at the same time. The gust created by the sudden chakra burst from Naruto further cleared the dust and smoke, revealing multiple clones of Shin Uchiha kids in around hundreds in number, and just like what Naruto have said earlier, their eyes have already activated their Mangekyo Sharingan and preparing for an all-out assault against them. So the oh-so-powerful heroes of the shinobi world have finally graced us with their presence. The original Shin Uchiha spoke as he stood a few hundred meters away from them in one of the elevated grounds of the hideout. Who would have thought that my intended prey would voluntarily come here and challenge me? So you're the real Shin? Naruto muttered with narrowed eyes towards the man. His bald head was implanted with multiple Mangekyo Sharingan while donning a black cloak with red cloud markings, basically that of the Akatsuki's uniform. A remnant of the Akatsuki, Sakura said after she saw their opponent's attire. Well, just need to make him talk, Sasuke said as he drew his sword, and using his Rinnegan's Amenetejikara, he disappeared and reappeared right behind the original Shin, then pointed his sword at the neck of the pretending Uchiha, surprising Shin himself. There's nowhere to run, so we'll take our time and draw the truth out of you. From now on, you can speak only when you're spoken to. Sasuke then looked towards the other Shin Uchiha kids. If any of you move a finger, I will not hesitate to shove my blade to your leader's throat. Sakura then prepared a fighting stance. Sasuke, you're going way too overboard. We're still dealing with kids here, Naruto said while looking Sasuke, who was pointing his sword against Shin's neck with killing intent. Shin, a former test subject of Orochimaru, what is it that you're after? Sasuke asked without letting his guard down. The evolution of humanity, Shin Uchiha immediately answered, however, he did so with a confident smirk. Sasuke then further pressed his blade to Shin's neck, its tip lightly cutting a small part of the pretending Uchiha's skin, making a trickle of blood come out of it in the process. Just like most of humanity, two individuals, a male and a female, will blend their genes together through the method of reproduction, creating a new unique human with combined genes from both his parents, and a human created from such, will have to compete against another human in certain aspects of life, and those who will survive will have the right to reproduce with another one, creating another human of such, and that cycle goes on, with only those who have much superior genes surviving the ordeal, Shin continued. That itself is the evolution of humanity. That is no different from my process of creating all these clones of myself. They act as my own means to evolve, allowing me to gain more and more power to create more jutsus, and using that power, create conflicts and wars, to make humanity fight for their own survival, and once again evolve further. That's why conflicts and wars are essential to this world. They were the driving force that made humanity evolve at a much faster rate, and someone must trigger those conflicts and wars, and that was the reason organizations, such as the Akatsuki, exists. Then you simply don't understand the true purpose of Akatsuki's existence, Sasuke replied coldly. Then let me ask, why, on this specific location in the land of swamps, did you decide to establish your hideout? So you somewhat have a hunch why I have stationed our hideout on this specific location, Shin smirked. If that's so, then the more reason I must destroy the three of you and use your Rinnegan and Uzumaki Naruto's bijus as fuel to ignite the fire and burn the current piece you have back to the ground. Then there's no need to discuss, you'll be imprisoned under the Shinobi Alliance jurisdiction. Don't even attempt to fight back, Sasuke said with a cold expression. And you sure about that? Shin then revealed his right arm, which was fully constructed from several cutter blades, and attempted to attack Sasuke. Sasuke then pulled his sword, aiming to attack Shin as well. However, much to his surprise, he can't move or even budge his sword from its current position. His blood has affected my sword. Sasuke let go of his sword to dodge the incoming attack of Shin Uchiha. He then fired multiple shurikens towards the pretending Uchiha, only for Shin to block each attack with his projectile blades controlled by his Mangekyo. Shin then controlled Sasuke's sword and fired it at high speeds, aiming to stab Sasuke's neck, but the Rinnegan user dodged the sword's tip, then grabbed the sword by its handle, then swung the sword sharply downwards, removing Shin's blood on its blade, thus removing Shin's control over it. It was then that Sasuke noticed that 5 younger Shin Uchihas were now surrounding him and attempting to attack him with various kinds of bladed weapons, including a Fuma Shuriken, a Kusarigama, Chakram, and such. He deflected each attacks with his sword, only for the original Shin Uchiha to fire a large shuriken created entirely from his cutter-like projectile blades behind Sasuke as he leapt away from the Rinnegan user. Right before the large shuriken landed into Sasuke, a Hiraishin kunai dashed and appeared right between the two, and in that instance, Naruto with Sakura appeared, with Naruto capturing the dashing kunai with his left hand, then used the chakra blade that Sarah returned to her sometime after their arrival at Konoha, equipped on his right hand to shatter the incoming large shuriken. Sakura, on the other hand, punched the very ground with impact directed towards the other Shin Uchihas who attacked Sasuke earlier, sending them skidding backwards and destroying a large part of the platform where they were currently standing. Evolution of humanity, Sakura said as she cracked her knuckles. If that's your mindset to make humanity evolve, then all we need to do is to beat you to a pulp to destroy that twisted mindset of yours, Naruto said while glaring towards Shin. Like what you have said, there's no room for discussion. Shin smirked towards the trio as they were once again got surrounded by hundreds of Shin Uchihas. The fragile peace that we have right now will halt the evolution of humanity. If you three will going to protect that peace, while all my intent was to make humanity evolve similar to Akatsuki's true purpose, then we'll just have to settle this once and for all, right here, right now. Hey, stop grinning like that, Naruto, also you, Sasuke, we're facing an army of Mangekyo users here. Sakura complained comically to the two. Well, I can't just help it, Sasuke replied to Sakura with a confident smirk. To think that there was still someone like this who's willing to challenge me and Sasuke while we're fighting as a team, it's kinda amusing, Sakura-chan. Hey, I am also here as part of the team, you know. Sakura further complained comically. Anyways, I do get your point, just don't get overconfident, you two. Hey, Sasuke widened his smirk as he closed his eyes. Naruto, let's have a match here. Fine, Naruto replied, but there must be conditions. Sasuke looked towards Naruto. Don't kill the kids, just knock them out, Naruto said while looking towards Sasuke. Alright, then my condition will be, no fuinjutsu, Sasuke said as he now looked towards the army of Shin in his direction. And genjutsu, Naruto smirked as he also confidently looked towards the Shins in his field of view. Also, Kage Bunshin, Sasuke retorted, if you're fine with those conditions, then we're good. Hey, you two, just how do you intend to? Sakura yelled towards Naruto and Sasuke. Handle the original Shin, Sakura, well take care of the others, Sasuke said even before Sakura could finish her statement. Huh, just me, let's go, yeah, both Naruto and Sasuke disappeared from their current location, then. Boom, clash, asterisk. Separate impacts were heard from one specific location of Shin's hideout as Naruto and Sasuke stood back to back, in fighting stance, intending to begin their assault against the army of Shin Uchihas. Damn those two, ignoring me like this, SHANNAARRROOOO. With their backs facing each other, Naruto and Sasuke then dashed towards the army of Shin Uchihas that was in front of them. Each have activated pair of Mangekyo Sharingan, with both Six Paths successors speed bypassing that of the weapons being manipulated by the Mangekyo using kids. Sasuke first landed a massive kick to one of the Shins, while Naruto did a palm thrust to the other Shin. Both Shins lost consciousness due to the heavy attack they just received. Naruto then grabbed the right arm of the Shin he just hit, then threw him toward the other incoming Shin, creating a bowling-like sequence that sent the other Shin skidding or rolling to the ground. Sasuke then jumped high above, then threw his sword sharply downwards, pinning the tip of his blade to the ground. Some Shins fired sets of shurikens and offensive ninjutsus while the others used their much larger bladed weapons manipulated by their Mangekyo. Each weapon was dashing in massive speeds towards Sasuke while he still was in midair. Only for him to swap places with his previously pinned sword through a Menetejikara, allowing him to dodge the incoming attacks, and right after he landed to the ground, the Uchiha performed a taijutsu dance a la Madara against the surprised, unexpecting Shin Uchihas, incapacitating them before they could counterattack. The very moment that Sasuke swapped with his sword, Naruto then threw a Hiraishin kunai to that currently airborne weapon. The very moment that his kunai was about to hit Sasuke's sword, Naruto flashed to the said kunai, grabbing it midair with his right hand, then also grabbed Sasuke's sword with his left hand, then threw that sword towards Sasuke. He then also sharply threw his Hiraishin kunai downwards near Sasuke's location, pinning it to the ground. Sasuke caught his sword that was thrown by Naruto and immediately returned it to his sheath, then summoned the Uchiha Gunbai, the signature weapon of Uchiha Madara, then proceeded to clad it with very thin, almost invisible lightning chakra so that it won't get affected by Shin's Mangekyo ability. Naruto then flashed to the Hiraishin kunai that landed near Sasuke, then also equipped his right hand with his Konoha chakra blade, the weapon he used during his time travel mission at Roron. Both Naruto and Sasuke fended off the huge amounts of bladed weapons that were being used on hand and those that were being Mangekyo manipulated by the Shin Uchiha clones. Targeting the two of them from multiple varying angles, and while deflecting the said attacks, Naruto and Sasuke used either their empty hand or leg to punch, palm thrust and or kick the nearest Shin clones with enough power to just knock them out unconscious. The pattern continued for a few more seconds until some of the Shin Uchihas used Kaden fire release based attacks that were also aimed against the Uchiha and the Uzumaki duo. Sasuke swung the gunbai with massive force to dispel the Kaden attacks simultaneously while also sending some Shin clones skidding or flying backwards due to the wind pressure that the gunbai created. The two successors of the Six Paths then sensed a set of jutsus that were about to be used, then immediately leapt away. In a second, massive earth spikes protruded on the ground where they were previously standing before leaping away, and those earth spikes were due to some Shin Uchihas attempting to attack them using some Doten earth release jutsus. While in midair with Sasuke, Naruto then cast multiple mini Rasengans on the tip of each of his fingertips of both his hands. Crossed both his arms in front of his face with both his hands and fingers in a claw-like position, palm facing forward, then swiped both his arms sideways while also firing the said mini Rasengans in a beam-style fashion in a similar manner to Rasengan Shunki, spiraling sphere flash. It resulted in a laser-like projectile that carved the earth on its path, destroying the earlier Doden jutsus while also knocking out some of the Shin Uchihas. Naruto then summoned a 2-meter-length bow staff, and since they were still mid-air, lightly swung it towards Sasuke. The Uchiha then used the bow staff as a platform to step and dashed downwards once again. The blonde shinobi, on the other hand, split the bow staff in two, making the split bow staff around arm length equipped on both hands, as he met the apex of his leap and now proceeded on landing downwards. As Sasuke once again began his assault using his Uchiha Gunbai, Naruto landed on the ground and used both his bow staff in dual-wielding fashion to assault the Shin Uchihas while also deflecting the bladed weapons being controlled by their Mangekyo Sharingan. The two continued attacking and defending against the hundreds of Shin Uchihas as they slowly whittled their numbers away, mostly using taijutsu and bukijutsu techniques in a way similar to how Uchiha Madara handled the 4th division of the Shinobi Alliance during the legendary Uchiha's first appearance during the last Shinobi World War. The original Shin Uchiha had his mouth hanging after seeing the current capabilities that Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke currently possessed, with Naruto not using any Jinchuriki forms while Sasuke was using mere Sharingan with occasional Amenetejikara ability of his Rinnegan. He didn't know that the ones he intended to use for his plans to once again ignite chaos in the shinobi world were already this powerful until seeing it before his very eyes. Only for his attention to be brought back by an incoming punch that he dodged by a millimeter from Haruno Sakura, and using his right arm entirely created from cutter-like blades, he attempted to punch Sakura in return, which the pink head was able to dodge, spun herself mid-air, then attempted a heel drop on the opponent's head. Sutenkyaku, Heavenly Foot of Pain. Shin blocked the heel drop with both his left arm and metallic right arm, but the impact still created a massive crater on the ground and shattered the metallic arm into individual blades. Shin immediately leapt away from Sakura, but the kunoichi dashed towards him. Using his Mangekyo ability, Shin used the scattered blades from his right arm and manipulated them, firing them at massive speeds towards Sakura. Sakura immediately stopped her advance, then drew a kunai, then blocked some of the incoming blades, but some of them hit some parts of her body and making some of those wounds bleed lightly. However, with a single hand seal, the wounds began healing up. After all, she can now perform minor healing on her physical body without using the Byakugo Jutsu. Those guys aren't using their most powerful forms, that's why I'll refuse to use Byakugo until they use theirs first. Sakura smirked to herself, also attempting to compete with his two teammates in her own way. She then punched the ground, shattering a huge chunk of the earth under a few tens of meters in diameter. Using the huge rocks that were flung due to the impact, Sakura used her enhanced strength to grab the larger rocks, then threw them sharply towards Shin Uchiha in succession at a speed similar to how a shinobi threw a kunai to its target. Still in mid-air due to his earlier leap, Shin used and manipulated larger blades to cut and dice some rocks while Sakura continued throwing the rocks at massive speeds. The rocks were shattered into smaller pieces, but the kunoichi used those smaller pieces as a literal stepping stone for her to dash, leap and dodge mid-air to reach Shin Uchiha. Shin once again created a large shuriken created from cutter blades and threw it towards Sakura before the girl could reach him. Sakura ended up dodging the makeshift shuriken, but due to Shin's Mangekyo, the makeshift shuriken became a homing weapon and only aimed towards Sakura regardless of the number of times she was able to successfully dodge the weapon. Sakura found herself back on the ground as she continued to dodge against the homing makeshift shuriken. She can't just stop moving and punch away that makeshift shuriken, as it might damage her arm gravely due to the huge number of blades composing that makeshift shuriken, so she kept dodging while thinking of finding an opening, and while doing so, Shin also was firing multiple blades against her or her intended place to land after a successful dodge, making the task on hand very difficult for her. I am fighting against one opponent, yet I already am having this much trouble. This is the hard part, fighting against a Mangekyo user. But those two. Sakura looked towards Naruto and Sasuke as they continued beating up most of the other Shin Uchihas like this was just an ordinary Tuesday for them, and here I thought that I have already caught up with them. In desperation, Sakura threw a kunai attached with a flash bomb talisman towards Shin, then detonated it, temporarily blocking the pretending Uchiha's field of vision. Damn it! Shin temporarily lost control of his projectiles due to the sudden flash of light that affected his dojutsu. However, Sakura then grabbed the very ground, then pulled it upwards with her enhanced strength, lifting a good amount of earth of around 100 meters in diameter. Then she leapt from the ground, carrying the massive boulder as if she was carrying a mere kunai. I still am, a disciple of a legendary Sannin. Sakura then swung the massive boulder she was carrying towards Shin before the pretending Uchiha could recover his visual abilities. Shannaroo. She slammed the massive boulder at full force towards Shin Uchiha, sending the Uchiha back to the ground together with the boulder, creating a massive impact upon landing. Gah! Shin vomited blood due to the damage Ri just received. I am not done yet. Sakura then dashed downwards, then punched the boulder where Shin was buried with a powerful punch. CCHHHAAAA. The punch shattered the boulder, sending its destroyed pieces in different directions while creating a large crater on the ground, with Shin Uchiha pinned in the very center of it. That Sakura, she's too hard-headed, Sasuke smirked after seeing the attack from his fiancé. Sakura really had grown so strong. That's why be a good boy or you'll end up being a stain, Sasuke, Naruto also said with a smirk. Scene change. Orochimaru-sama, Karen said as she seemed to have an important query with the snake Sannin. Orochimaru simply gave a neutral look to the redhead. Why, did you not tell Sasuke and his team about Shin's true goal? Karen said in serious expression. The snake Sannin simply looked towards Karen. Now, his face was now more serious. And how about you? Why did you not tell them about it? You might be twisted, but you're not acting out of random whim. Karen replied seriously. I can sense that you're willing to aid Sasuke and Naruto in your own way, so I believe that you have your own reason why you didn't tell them, and I am not the one to act on impulse either. Hey, Orochimaru smirked after hearing Karen. He underestimated Karen's observation skills and intuition, because most of those who have spent time around him for the longest years still weren't able to truly understand how he thinks, except just now. Maybe, you mean, about from what clan where Shin came from? Karen nodded. Indeed, Shin came from a shinobi clan who worshipped a powerful demon known as Moryo for them to use that being's power and attempted to rule over the world and establish their 1,000-year kingdom. And that demon was said to exist even before Kaguya Otsutsuki came to this world, Orochimaru said with a small smirk. That shinobi clan is a master of dark medical arts, performing surgeries and using their own body to execute powerful jutsus. That's why Shin was so adept in transplanting body parts and organs into his own body. Even among the surviving members of his clan, his unique genetic makeup capable of accepting everything that was implanted on his body is the perfect body for such dark medical arts. I intend to occupy and use his body for that very reason. However, the result became the opposite. Instead of you using him, he took advantage and studied your experiments for him to use on his own body, Karen said. The moment you were defeated by Sasuke back then, he defected from your laboratory and used your tools and technologies to clone himself and use those clones as disposable test subjects, and also made them as his own personal mercenaries. But that's not the only reason, right? Right. After gaining too much knowledge and technologies, mostly stolen from me, he intended to use them to continue a plan he inherited from his shinobi clan, a plan that he will use to stir this world once again into chaos, Orochimaru replied. While previous attempts from the remnants of his clan, generation after generation, failed to do the said plan after being thwarted by the priestesses of the land of demons, this time, Shin has a much better chance to succeed than his past predecessors. To revive the Moryo, and once again, establish the 1,000-year kingdom. Scene change. The very moment that Sakura was able to knock down Shin, Naruto and Sasuke were also simultaneously defeated the last Shin clone. Most of the Shin clones were lying on the ground, still conscious, but with pained expressions on their faces and having difficulty moving properly. I defeated 187 Shins, Naruto said to Sasuke. I got 190, the Sharingan user retorted. But you used more jutsus. You used more weapons. Hey you two, you're still at it, Sakura yelled towards her teammates. Shin Uchiha grunted as he can feel most of his body aching, some of his bones were fractured and broken, to think that they were already this strong. That's why the evolution of humanity that you're blabbering about was no more than a twisted excuse to start trouble, Naruto said to Shin, humanity has the power to grab a better future without wars. In fact, conflict and strife were the ones that held back the progress of our world, and now that the shinobi nations were now more focused on this growth and development rather than going against each other's throats at any given time, will not allow you to meddle in it. Very funny, Shin smirked, but despite the damage and pain he's feeling all over his body, he can still feel that he can still move his left arm, so he tried using his left arm, moved it near his chest, then performed a single hand seal. You're no longer in any condition to perform any other jutsu, anymore, and you'll be knocking on death's door. Sasuke then walked towards the Uchiha while drawing his sword. You may have won the battle, but the plan had already succeeded, Shin said as he released an unknown jutsu. Naruto and Sakura suddenly felt something ominous the moment Shin was able to perform the said hand seal. Feeling that something was off, Sasuke immediately dashed towards Shin. He didn't intend to kill him, but after the feeling what he just sensed was more than enough reason for him to justify killing him. However, several Shin Uchiha clones blocked Sasuke's advance. Naruto and Sakura were about to aid Sasuke, yet multiple Shin clones also attempted to attack the two of them despite their sluggish movement due to the physical damage they had during their earlier part of the battle against Naruto and Sasuke. They're buying time. Sasuke then aimed to use a Menetejikara to teleport right beside Shin. However, the creature with a deformed appearance possessing a Sharingan capable of using space-time ninjutsu appeared right beside Shin, then warped the pretending Uchiha, teleporting him in a safe distance, but still within the same vicinity, thus, dodging Sasuke's attempted attack in hair's breadth. Stop this, kids. Naruto then released his potent chakra, creating a massive gust of wind, and some cracks on the ground, blowing away the Shin Uchiha clones that were attacking them while also making the others who will attempt to attack them shudder on their knees, feeling suffocated due to the sudden pressure they just felt from Naruto. Too late, the original Shin Uchiha needed chakra through his Mangekyu, freezing all the Shin Uchihas within the vicinity. Even the unconscious ones suddenly opened their eyes and stood up, as if the original Shin was controlling their movements through his Mangekyu. Then, multiple veins popped out of the ground right behind each Shin Uchiha clones, with the veins' appearance similar to that of a fresh intestine. The veins then attached themselves right on the back of each Shin Uchiha clone's nape, then began pumping fluids mixed with corrupted chakra. The process made the clones cry tears of blood, with some even having trickles of blood coming out of their mouth. The Shin clones then began performing rapid hand seals simultaneously. This is gruesome, and to think that those clones even treated him as their father, Sakura said as she covered her mouth in surprise and disgust as she watched the current conditions of the Shin clones. During your individual encounters with my clones, Uchiha Sasuke and Uzumaki Naruto, why did you not trace them back during their escape despite being fully capable of doing so? The original Shin asked, his Mangekyu eyes bleeding. Naruto and Sasuke didn't reply. After all, they knew for certain that following the Shin clones without preparation and appropriate intel at that time was a glaring trap against them. You expected it as a trap, right? Then one question, what are you doing right here, right now, in this very place? Shin then gave a malicious smirk. After realizing something, Sasuke then immediately cast and created a perfect Susanoo, enveloping him together with Naruto and Sakura, then immediately flew high above the ground. We've been had. Naruto gritted his teeth after realizing Shin's true intent against them. What do you mean? Sakura immediately inquired. Shin's true intent is to lure us here, on his hideout, for whatever purpose he had. He didn't intend to directly beat us in combat. All he had to do was to drag us here, on this specific place in the land of the swamps, Naruto replied. Amaterasu, heavenly illumination. Sasuke fired one of his signature Mangekyu jutsu towards the original Shin. However, Shin controlled a clone of his to block the incoming inextinguishable flames, then glared towards Sasuke still with his malicious smirk. You should have done that earlier, Shin simply said as the other Shin clones completed their hand seals. At that very moment, all the Shin clones simultaneously slammed their hands to the ground, then released all their chakra. At that very moment, the earth beneath them began to shake violently, creating multiple large cracks all over the place. What now? Sakura said as she looked down from within the perfect Susanoo. Kuchihyose no jutsu, summoning technique. The Shin Uchiha clones muttered at the same time, and the one that was summoned by the Shin clones greatly surprised Team 7. A massive, tens of kilometer-wide tree stump appeared right before them, a huge tree stump that the three of them knew so well. "It's the Shinju's stump," Sasuke said in surprise. The stump that was the remnant of the Shinju after being cut by Naruto's Yoden, Rasenshuriken before being absorbed by Madara. Sakura also muttered. "And that's not all," Naruto yelled, as if once again sensing something dangerous. In that instance, a powerful, malicious spirit containing huge amounts of powerful chakra burst out from the very ground where all the Shin clones were currently standing. The black chakra began wrapping itself on the Shin clones, while the malicious spirit flew directly towards Shin. "It is time," the creature with Sharingan said to Shin. Shin then opened his mouth widely. The malicious spirit then entered Shin's body through his mouth, acting like an absorbing vacuum, together with the black chakra that enveloped all the Shin Uchiha clones, dragging each Shin clones with them in a similar manner to how the Geto Mazo consumed the tailed beasts through its mouth during the war, leaving no trace of all the Shin clones behind. At that moment, Shin Uchiha's body pulsed, and his chakra level began skyrocketing at full force, now clad in a black chakra cloak, and his face now with an empty expression but still retaining its pair of Mangekyo, and the deformed creature with Sharingan resting on his shoulders. Shin glared towards the perfect Susanoo. "Now this is something serious," Sasuke gritted his teeth. He then charged a chakra-based lightning arrow and fired it through the projected bow of his perfect Susanoo, attempting to destroy the Shinju's stump. However, a chakra avatar like Dragonhead had appeared before the lightning arrow hit the stump, then consumed Sasuke's attack and completely absorbed it. "That's right," Shin Uchiha's voice echoed while Shin's mouth and body weren't moving. "The very reason why I have you, Uchiha Sasuke, and Uzumaki Naruto, come here, was for me to use your Six Paths chakra to revive our worshipped one that is currently sealed in a cavern under this very land. I intended to capture just one of you, but we failed, without any means of capturing you two due to the growth of your power. We have no choice but to use ourselves as sacrifices to become the vessel of our worshipped one, and use the stump of the Shinju as the remnant of Six Paths power from Otsutsuki Kaguya to become its own power." "Worshipped one," Naruto muttered. However, he can clearly sense it now. This evil chakra that he's sensing right now within Shin was very familiar to him. The black-clad Shin Uchiha then stretched his hand, then began absorbing the entire stump of the Shinju through the power of the malicious spirit's black chakra that had just recently entered his body. "Seeing that you two insects inheriting Otsutsuki Kaguya's power, you have the right to know that there was once a being who fought against her during her arrival on this world. During their battle, Kaguya split that being's power in two, with the first half creating our worshipped one, and a being of equivalent power that Kaguya had sealed within a person, regarding that person as the priestess. Otsutsuki Kaguya," Sasuke narrowed his eyes upon hearing the chakra goddess name. 5 years ago, the worshipped one was about to be revived, but was sealed once again by the priestess using the power of a shinobi, and that shinobi was you, Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto then finally connected everything based on all the information he currently heard. "And due to the current circumstances of this world, specifically the recently concluded Fourth Shinobi War, our worshipped one sped up its revival cycle, and all that we need right now to ensure his revival was the power of the Six Paths, that either both you, Uzumaki Naruto, Uchiha Sasuke, and even Hyuga Hinata, who also have a fragment of Six Paths chakra through Hamura Otsutsuki. I see, once again, after your previous defeat 5 years ago, your spirit and chakra were sealed in this very place in the land of the swamps, while your body was sealed in the land of the demons, for the priestess to protect it and also to stop you if you ever intend to revive once again." "Right, the one said to be the demon from ancient times, Morio," Naruto said as he tightly clenched both his knuckles. "And now that I was able to absorb the Shinju's stump using Morio's chakra, then I have no longer use on any of you." Shin Uchiha simply smirked as the final trace of the Shinju stump was completely absorbed by him, and now had disappeared right before their very eyes. Scene change. "That's my point," Karen nearly yelled to the Sannin. "Why did you not tell them such very important information? It is for them to realize that, despite having all the powers they currently have, there will always be a threat that could once again turn the world upside down," Orochimaru replied. "Sasuke and Naruto must continue to grow and evolve, since I need to see the limit of their potential now that both of them possessed the power of the Six Paths. They are looking forward far too much, against the Otsutsukis, for them to realize that there were threats of equivalent degree still lurking in this world right under their noses. Karen narrowed her eyes. What made you so sure that this Morio that Shin was attempting to revive would be a threat against those two? It is said that Morio and the ancestors of the priestess of the demon country were once one and the same being. However, that being suddenly split up in two, with one growing into a righteous being, the priestess, while the other into a corrupted one, the demon Morio, due to his power and corruption capable of destroying the world. Morio was sealed by the priestess that was once used to be a part of him, and continuously, every few generations, Morio's seal will weaken after it fed and reached a certain threshold of negative energies of the world during its slumber. And so, the priestess of that generation must reseal Morio to prevent him from reviving, Orochimaru said as he looked towards the Uchiha stone tablet. But there was one big question. Since Morio, on his own, was said to be capable of destroying the world, then how powerful was that being before it was suddenly split into Morio and the first priestess? And what kind of event, or being, have enough power to force them to split apart? What are you getting at? Karen said as she can feel a bead of sweat run down her face. It wasn't directly stated on the Uchiha stone tablet, but Kaguya Otsutsuki, after eating the chakra fruit, used the power that she acquired to end all strife in our world during her time, and most likely, the being that was once the combined form of Morio and the priestess also existed during that same time, and the two of them inevitably fought one another as Kaguya considered that being as a threat or strife on her world. So are you saying that Kaguya is the one responsible for splitting that being into the priestess power and Morio? Orochimaru simply looked at Karen seriously. Just imagine, a being as powerful as Kaguya resorted to merely sealing Morio, not outright defeat and totally destroy him. Why do you think so? Then, are you implying that Morio, if fully revived, is capable of fighting on equal grounds against Kaguya who had already consumed the chakra fruit, or at the very least, has the potential to possess power rivaling that of the Ten Tails? Karen said with a surprised expression. That's the very reason why the shinobi clan where Shin came from intended to use Morio's power and revive him while the priestess of the demon country must stop them from successfully doing so. After the sage of the six paths sealed Kaguya, that clan saw this as an opportunity to revive the now unrivaled Morio with Kaguya being gone. Similar to the history of Indra and Ashura's reincarnations, those two sides were fated to have a never-ending fight on their respective generations. If ill based this on Shin's thought process, now that the Akatsuki was defeated, with all the tailed beasts can no longer be used as means to create chaos since all of them were already sealed within Naruto, and peace has been established by the shinobi nations, there will no longer be wars, and without wars, humanity won't strive to evolve, and the world will become stagnant, but in reality, without wars, the negative emotions produced by conflicts and wars will greatly diminish, thus, decreasing the likelihood of Morio's revival. Morio has just been revived more or less 5 years ago but ultimately defeated and sealed once again by the current generation's priestess of the demon country with Konoha shinobi's help. So by paper, it should once again take a few generations to revive him. However, there were two factors that greatly affected Shin's desperate actions right now. First is the recently concluded Fourth Shinobi War, the largest war in shinobi history, that definitely produced ample amounts of negative emotions and energies that sped up Morio's seal weakening for his revival. The second was the current peace established by the Shinobi Alliance right after the war, with no conflicts on the horizon for the foreseeable future. Morio's revival cycle will most likely diminish, ending up sealing that demon for the longest time. That's why Shin intended to recreate the Akatsuki, then stir chaos once again in his attempt to revive Morio. And that's also why he's aiming for Sasuke's Rinnegan and Naruto's tailed beasts, because the powers they possess right now were used instruments for many conflicts and wars even during the time of the Sage of the Six Paths, and Shin believes that those powers will be a great tool to weaken Morio's seal and revive that demon. Karen clenched her fist. The situation is dire, yet he finally understood what Orochimaru actually intended. So you want Sasuke and Naruto to not only fight but also destroy that Morio once and for all for it to stop its continuous seal and revive cycle. Orochimaru looked towards Karen's eyes. He really never thought that Karen had this kind of insight. Now I finally know why Sasuke intended to take you as his second wife. Now is not the time, Karen said as she went in the direction of her personal room. I'll need to chase Sasuke and his team and inform them of everything. this is a very serious situation for you just to sit back and observe. Hey, fine, for all we know, they might have already defeated Shin already to thwart his plans, or Morio was already on its way to its revival, with both Naruto and Sasuke having a hard time fighting against it, Orochimaru sighed as he walked away from the Uchiha stone tablet. And now that I can decipher more information on this Uchiha stone tablet and now able to realign the information tampered by Black Zetsu, despite the current peace, I can see that the world is still heading towards a bleak future. Scene change. Team 7 watched in wary while still in Sasuke's levitating perfect Susanoo as Shin Uchiha began changing form due to the completion of Shinju's absorption. So basically, since you failed to use our 6 paths power in your attempt to revive Morio, you used yourself and your clones as sacrifices, then used the Shinju's stump as a last resort to revive that demon created and sealed by the priestess, Sasuke said seriously, but even without luring us here, you already have all the necessary requirements and means to revive Morio, why take a gamble and fight a losing battle against us? I fully intend to defeat and use your 6 paths powers and sacrifice your body to revive Morio. I just did not expect that the two of you have grown this strong, to the point of being capable of fighting an army of Mage-Q users without using much of your 6 paths powers, Shin replied to Sasuke. However, since I failed and was forced to use the alternative, then, I'll use the same alternative and use this opportunity. Shin then began coughing with blood, with his blood vessels popping out and also some bursting with blood as well. For Lord Morio to use this humble body, and have the two of you be defeated by his very own hands. At that very moment, Shin Uchiha's body mutated, and now changed its physical appearance similar to that of Obito during his short time as the Jubi Jinchuriki, albeit without the Shikuho and Gudodama, with his implanted Mangekyo eyes glaring towards the perfect Susanoo hovering above them. Shin, you did a much better job on reviving and containing my spirit and chakra than Yomi did 5 years ago, a much sinister voice now echoed, replacing Shin's. Now all that we need is to claim my real body on the land of demons, and assimilate the priestess, to once again become a complete being and establish my 1,000-year kingdom. This chakra, Sasuke narrowed his eyes, really is comparable to that of the 10 tails, Sakura mentioned, feeling the immense pressure from the recently revived demon. That time, Shion and I were just lucky that we were able to land the Super Chakra Rasengan and defeat him right before his complete revival, Naruto said as he glared towards Shin, but now it seemed like Morio has full control over his body. Exclamation mark. Sasuke and Sakura then looked towards Naruto. That's right, Shion. We need Shion's power to defeat this thing for good, Naruto said with a confident smirk as he remembered the events from the past, the fight against Morio that involved a certain blonde-haired priestess. Priestess Shion of the Land of Demons. The current priestess of the demon country, Lady Shion, Sakura answered Sasuke's query. 5 years ago, during Morio's previous revival cycle, the Land of Demons requested Konoha to escort the current priestess to a specific sealing shrine within the Land of Demons so that she can reseal Morio, and with Naruto's assistance, they were able to defeat Morio and stopped his revival back then. Morio, who's now in full control of Shin Uchiha's body, then projected multiple dragon-based heads created from his dark-colored chakra. Then the mouth of each dragon heads began firing beam attacks towards the currently levitating perfect Susanoo. What does it have to do with the priestess anyway? Sasuke said as he distanced his perfect Susanoo from the newly revived demon occupying Shin Uchiha's body while nimbly dodging the beam attacks from the opponent despite the size of his massive chakra construct. We can just take him down and seal him using our own 6 paths powers. Based on what we have heard earlier, that won't do, Naruto said while observing Morio's attack patterns. According to Shion, during our fight with Morio back then, this demon feeds on negative energy and chakra to fuel its revival cycle after certain periods of time, and only the priestess of that generation has the capability to seal that demon. You know, the antithesis, weakness thing. That's why the lineage of the priestess must continue, because a priestess, or basically the mysterious power residing within the priestess, is the only capable way of sealing them away. If my guess is correct, Morio have no other choice but to feed on the negative energy of the world before, due to him having no other source of power during his sealed state. So his cycle of revival was slow back then. However, due to the Fourth Shinobi War, with 6 paths powers being involved during multiple, lengthy battles, his revival cycle sped up, making Shin assume that the Six Paths powers can speed up its revival and even strengthen Morio, so using our Six Paths power to seal him is no good cause it might only strengthen him further instead of weakening or sealing him. Sasuke and Sakura looked towards Naruto, with the Uchiha in neutral expression while Sakura has an incredulous one. Both of them were thinking along the same lines, similar to when Naruto would always mutter some thought-provoking comments since his return from training at Mount Myokobu. What kind of training had Naruto just been through for him to have this kind of critical thinking? So if we need to defeat this thing for good, we will definitely need Shien's cooperation, Naruto said in summary as he jumped out from Sasuke's perfect Susanoo's forehead, then clasped both his hands in front of his face. In that instance, Naruto released huge amounts of chakra, then immediately entered the same form that he used against Sasuke during their previous spar, the Ashura Chakra mode, a chakra mode-based transformation similar to Biju chakra modes, but using his very own massive chakra reserves in a similar fashion to Tenseigan chakra mode, complete with 10 Gudo Dama floating in a circular pattern behind Naruto's back. Sasuke. This guy is not yet at full power because his original body was still sealed in the land of demons. We just need to weaken this thing for a while first so we can buy time and get Shien to help us. Sasuke then charged a Chidori on his Susanoo's left hand, while Sakura activated her Byakugo, then placed both her hands on Sasuke's shoulders as chakra support. The perfect Susanoo and Ashura chakra mode. Naruto then dashed towards Morio at the same time while dodging the beam attacks from Morio's black chakra-based dragon heads. Come, descendants of Otsutsuki Kaguya. Morio roared as he created more dragon-based heads to create a literal rain of beam barrages aimed towards Team 7. Scene change. Two hooded beings stood a few good kilometers away from the ongoing battle, watching how the development unfolded, up to the seeming revival of Morio using the body of Shin Uchiha as its host, the same two beings who approached Shin Uchiha within the shadows from before. Well, it seemed like Shin really was able to pull it off. The female hooded figure, known as Delta, spoke, while he failed to use Otsutsuki Hagoromo's descendants on resurrecting that monster he called Morio. He did compensate by using his clones and his own body, allowing that monster to resurrect despite still not being in full power. And Jigen was right about that, about this Morio being powerful enough to rival the powers of the Ten Tails, the bigger hooded figure, now known as Boro, said while watching how the battle unfolded, and as expected, Jigen already expected that Shin would fail using Hagoromo's descendants as Morio's new vessel. That's why he implanted that thing on the Shinju's stump beforehand, even before Jigen instructed us to contact this lowlife worshipper of Morio. That thing, Delta said with a smirk. He already knew that Shin would end up using the Forsaken Stump to empower Morio's revival, and Shin thought that by doing so, Morio would gain power that could stand up against the organization, yet all he did was fall right into our trap. Good thing that those useless Shin clones didn't notice the thing during the process of implanting their summoning insignia to the Shinju's stump. As if they have enough intelligence to know or even understand it, even those who were branded by that mark could barely realize it before it is too late. That thing, that mark, that seal that consisted the entire biological data to act as backup of a living Otsutsuki. Scene change. The perfect Susanoo continued to dodge the beams while the ones he cannot evade were being deflected by its chakra sword on its right hand. Naruto, on the other hand, controlled two of his Gudo Dama, stationed them on his right hand, fused them together, then molded the fused orb into a huge, black sword in a double helix, DNA strand-like pattern that was said to be used by the sage of the Six Paths to shape the world, the sword of Nunoboku. Naruto then fired another two of his Gudo Dama sharply towards Morio, shattering all beams and dragon heads created by Morio along the way. Morio then stretched his right arm, attempting to absorb the Gudo Dama once it came in contact with him. But on the very last moment before the Truth Seeker orbs came in contact with Morio, Sasuke used a Menetejikara to swap places with one of Naruto's Gudo Dama, while Naruto used Hiraishin using the other Gudo Dama as his teleportation point since the Gudo Dama was created from his very own chakra, thus can be used as warp point like those tri-pronged Hiraishin kunais. And with Sasuke teleporting together with his perfect Susanoo, the Uchiha thrust the Chidori charged by his Susanoo while Naruto swung his sword of Nunoboku, intending to hit the revived demon being hosted by Shin's body. Futile. It'll just absorb your chakra. Morio roared as he positioned his right hand towards Sasuke's Chidori and left hand to Naruto's sword of Nunoboku's swing. Who said that we're aiming to attack you? Naruto yelled as he and Sasuke changed the trajectory of their attacks at the last second, making the perfect Susanoo's Chidori clashed with Naruto's sword of Nunoboku head-on, surprising Morio as he was point-blank near the two attacks' collision. What? The impact between the two attacks created a massive explosion comparable to Juba's cone-shaped Bijudama, shaking the entire land of swamps and including the nearby countries. The perfect Susanoo was blown away, with parts of its left body being damaged due to the impact. Naruto, on the other hand, was protected by his other Gudo Dama by wrapping himself in a circular dome, but nevertheless, the impact still also sent him flying in a considerable distance. If you'll just absorb our six paths power, then all we have to do is to blow you away without having our jutsus having contact with you. Sasuke and Naruto thought simultaneously. In a distance, as the smoke and dust from the explosion cleared, Shin Uchiha's body was bleeding all over the face, and some parts of it were even deformed due to bulging chakra from the combined power of Morio's and the absorbed Shinju stump within it. Damn you, Kaguya's descendants, Morio muttered as he tried to maintain Shin Uchiha's body as his vessel. The clash between the perfect Susanoo's Chidori and the sword of Nunoboku in front of Shin, point blank, produced an impact that greatly damaged Shin Uchiha's body that it seemed like it might explode at any given moment. While it is not much a problem due to his regeneration, since he had just revived and still getting accustomed to his new temporary vessel, such damage on his vessel will cause some problems since he still needs to acquire his real body. We will need your true body from the land of demons. The deformed creature with Sharingan, who's currently sitting on Morio, Shin's shoulder, spoke as it began warping away using its usual space-time jutsu. But in your current condition, you must fully regenerate first, or we won't even be able to make it to the land of demons, Morio-sama. Very well, Morio said to the creature, then looked towards Naruto and Sasuke's current location as before they fully warped away. Next time we meet, will be your end, together with this world, as Morio and the creature warped away from their current location. And by then, we'll have Shion on our ranks, and who knows, we might even be able to stop your revival cycle and defeat you for good. Naruto, levitating while still in his Ashura chakra mode, smirked towards Morio as his 10 Gudo Damas returned behind him on their usual formation. After sensing that Morio had teleported away, Naruto and Sasuke dispelled their transformations, then landed on the ground together with Sakura. Wow, once again, we were facing another end of the world scenario, Sakura said to her teammates as she surveyed the destruction that the clash against Morio have created. And we don't have much time to waste, Sasuke replied, then looked in a specific direction. He then saw a familiar red-haired girl, her former Team Taka teammate, Karen, rushing to their current location, standing on the head of one of Orochimaru's summoned large snakes. Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto, Karen said as she jumped down from the head of the summoned large snake that Orochimaru used for faster transportation. The large snake then puffed into nothingness, ending its contracted summon right after Karen left him. What are you doing here, Karen? Naruto asked. What the F*** is that massive explosion? It nearly blew me away to who knows where. Karen complained to the group. Never mind that. What happened here? Did you fight against Morio? Were you able to beat him? Team 7 then looked towards each other, then looked towards Karen. Sakura then approached the red head, grabbed her head with her entire arm, then comically drilled her left knuckle on top of Karen's head. How did you know that we would end up fighting against Morio? Or rather, how come did you not tell us anything about this while we were still in your hideout? Sakura yelled to Karen. It was Orochimaru's decision not to tell you anything. He said that Sasuke must know and understand that the Otsutsukis were not the only threats that could threaten the current peace of this world, and facing Morio would make Sasuke realize that for him to be able to protect the said peace, he needs a new left arm for him to continue walking the path he chose. That shrewd snake, Tisk, Sakura clicked her in annoyance as she let go of Karen. Sasuke then looked towards Karen with a neutral expression. While we might not have a proper master-student relationship, it seems like Orochimaru really knew me all too well. Alright, what now? We don't have the leisure of taking out time right now, Naruto said to the group. We need to return to Konoha while Morio still was recuperating, and I'll have Kakashi-sensei send me to the land of demons to ask for Shien's help, though I bet Shien already knew everything that's happening right now since her powers are always connected with Morio's. What made you so sure that this priestess will cooperate with us? Sasuke immediately asked. It's her job. During that time from the past, after dealing our final blow against Morio, she even said that she'll accept her full responsibility as the priestess because it is her job. Naruto replied in as a matter-of-fact face. Oh well, Sakura interjected, then walked closely towards Sasuke, while Karen also followed, interested in what Sakura was about to say, then whispered towards Sasuke in a very low voice, you see, this dense idiot promised Shien too. But knowing him, I bet he didn't understand what Priestess Shien really meant that time. Sakura finished her statement. Both Sasuke and Karen then looked towards Naruto with deadpan expressions, while Naruto simply put both his hands on the back of his head, as if wondering why the two reacted like that after hearing Sakura's whisper. Impressive, Sasuke simply muttered as he looked away. I don't know what to say. Karen followed the Uchiha's gesture. Right, Sakura said with a bright smile to the Uchiha and the female Uzumaki. Oi, we're wasting valuable time here. Naruto began complaining. Fine, Sasuke, after thinking within himself for a few seconds as if weighing the current situation properly, then looked towards Naruto and Sakura. I'll be going back to Orochimaru's hideout and have that left arm installed on mine. On the other hand, Sakura and Naruto must report back to Konoha and inform Kakashi and the entire Shinobi Alliance of the current situation. Naruto simply observed Sasuke after hearing those words from his rival. While he intended to rebut Sasuke's decision, he didn't do so after he saw the resolute expression from the Uchiha. Are you sure about this? Sakura was the one who voiced the question. Like what you have said, Madara's consciousness might be lurking on that arm since it was basically created from his very own cells, amplified by the Six Paths power, and with his powerful chakra, he might end up corrupting you. Also, aside from that dangerous possibility, since you'll end up doing the operation on Orochimaru's hideout, as a medical ninja, it would be best to have you with me during the operation, so I can't return back together with Naruto to Konoha if you'll really have that arm installed into you right now. About that, Karen then drew a scroll from her pocket. I have brought that left arm, and it was sealed in here. According to Orochimaru-sama, he already contacted the 5th Hokage in advance, so shall be the one to perform the left arm operation at Konoha. Team 7 looked towards Karen in interest. While Orochimaru was performing various surgeries and experiments, he still wasn't a medical ninja to perform such meticulous operation. He also had the same concern as you all regarding Six Paths Madara's consciousness within that left arm. If the operation of attaching this left arm will be performed, it will be best to perform the procedures in Konoha with the 5th Hokage handling the operation. If things go south, there are a lot of capable shinobi in there that could handle the situation, Karen explained. But, will Tsunade-sama trust Orochimaru with that left arm? I thought Sasuke's collaboration with Orochimaru is top secret information between us. Sakura asked the obvious question. If Tsunade-sama knew of this, and also happened to realize that the left arm was created from Six Path Madara's cells, that might once again incite some serious misunderstanding. I believe Orochimaru was betting on me regarding that part. Naruto answered the question with an annoyed expression. That snake. He knew that I could talk my way out and convince Bachan regarding this. That's why he wanted the operation procedures to happen in Konoha in the first place. A moment of silence between the group, as if contemplating on what they should do next. Very well, Sasuke said to the group, we'll be using my Rinnegan to warp back to Konoha. After Naruto convinced Tsunade regarding the left arm, he'll have Kakashi send him to the land of demons and meet with the priestess before Morio got fully recovered and aimed against her life while also preparing the means to defeat that demon for good. He'll be left behind in the village so the operation can proceed, and if things go well, he'll catch up to Naruto as a backup. Naruto, Sakura and Karen nodded. Sasuke then cast his Rinnegan space-time portal, then the four of them entered the void to immediately return to Konoha. Scene change. Konoha. Hokage Tower. What the? Tsunade, who's currently with Kakashi at the Hokage Tower, narrowed her eyes due to the sudden earthquake. It seemed like she had something that she needed to discuss with Kakashi. That's why she's currently at the Hokage Tower and talking together with Shikamaru. Are you two all right? Kakashi immediately asked the two women in front of him while Shikamaru immediately looked outside the window, towards the direction of the source of the sudden earthquake. Yes, we are fine, Hinata replied to Kakashi as she was also grabbing Sarah by her side to prevent her from losing balance due to the sudden earth movement. Thanks, Hinata, Sarah replied as she stood on her feet once again, looking towards the same direction where Shikamaru was looking. Just what happened? This is no ordinary earthquake. It's them, right, Hinata? Shikamaru said with a serious expression. Yes, Naruto-kun and Sasuke-kun were fighting against something that forced them to use such kind of power, Hinata replied as she can sense Naruto and Sasuke's chakra even in good distance due to her also having fragments of Six Paths chakra that she acquired from Otsutsuki Hamura during their moon mission. Kakashi and Tsunade looked towards each other with serious expressions. If those two were required to use such kind of power against their opposition, then there must be something serious that must be happening out there, and all these were just because of those Shinuchihas that they are currently tracking. Sarah went to the Hokage Tower earlier in response to Kakashi's summons, with Hinata accompanying her since she's still new to the village. While Sarah wondered why the Hokage required her presence, Kakashi simply eased her worries as he simply needed to ask the former queen something that someone like her can only respond to in person. Flashback 30 minutes ago. I am sorry for the sudden summons, Lady Sarah, Kakashi said with a small smile as a greeting towards Sarah while Hinata stood behind her. Greetings, Hokage-sama, Tsunade-sama, Shikamaru-san. Sarah held both sides of her dress and lightly bowed elegantly. So this is the former queen of Roron, Naruto's second fiancé, huh? Tsunade looked towards the former queen, as if meticulously inspecting the girl. Tsunade was already informed by Kakashi of her situation beforehand, yet she's still quite curious about the girl who had left her timeline due to her feelings for the blonde knucklehead of a shinobi, that Gaki. He really knows how to cause trouble without even trying, however, for him to have a girl like this to fall this hard for him. Sarah, on the other hand, felt slightly nervous due to the way Tsunade seemed to measure her. It was a good thing that Hinata told her about some of Naruto's past last night, because she knew that Tsunade, the fifth Hokage, had a special connection and relationship with Naruto, as Naruto was one of the factors why Tsunade accepted the Hokage position. Hinata even said that Tsunade might be the one that Naruto considered closest to a mother that he could have. However, being a royalty since birth, she knew how to handle such pressure of facing and communicating with those for higher positions from other villages and countries. That's why she must hold her head high and prove to Tsunade that she also deserves to become Naruto's partner in life similar to that of Hinata. On the other hand, Kakashi was impressed by Sarah's gesture and way of handling Tsunade's obvious meticulous observation of her, with Hinata subconsciously keeping him down to earth and Sarah possibly influencing him with character and gestures befitting of a leader. The sixth Hokage felt like Naruto had the appropriate women around him to further straighten him up as the future Hokage. After a few more pleasantries, Kakashi finally decided to ask the question he had in mind. Lady Sarah, after spending some time with the village, let me ask you, what do you think of Konoha? Kakashi asked the former queen of Roron with his usual eye smile. With all due respect, Hokage-sama, I just arrived at the village a few days ago. However, I can honestly say that Konoha is indeed a very wonderful village despite it being a literal military institution of the Land of Fire, Sarah responded neutrally. Then, I'll ask you as a former queen of a highly developed city, Kakashi then said, this time, in his serious Hokage persona, what was Konoha lacking in terms of technology, institution, and quality of living? Sarah immediately understood her current situation. The Hokage was measuring her, not just as Naruto's fiancé, but also as a person and a former queen. Then I'll give my sincere observation as the successor of the former queen and on behalf of the people of Roron. Sarah replied in her queen persona, with the same expression she had when she found her resolution to lead her people against Mukade. For one, while Konoha currently has sufficient energy source to sustain an effective community through natural sources, the village lacked the appropriate energy source to improve its technology. If Konoha will intend to improve the village's technological status, we will need other sources of energy such as geothermal, hydrothermal, or even both as sources of power. Not that we need a nearby volcano or a waterfall where we can install power plants for such, but there are other alternatives available that Konoha can take advantage of. And once the village was able to establish its additional sources of energy, it was then that the village can start improving its technology. And it should start by improving communications by having portable devices that can be used not only by the shinobi and those with higher positions, but also by the civilians. While shinobi can communicate telepathically through some techniques, civilians aren't capable of such. The telephones that Suna and this village were using were outdated compared to Roron of 20 years ago. The development will be slow with communications always depending on mule delivery. Then there's transportation. While all shinobi can move fast, ordinary civilians like me, however, are not capable of such. Concrete road construction all over the village and farm to market roads. Especially the farms where the village was procuring important necessities such as rice, wheat, and cotton must be prioritized, and machine-operated vehicles must also be prioritized for faster movement and delivery of such necessities without relying too much on shinobi techniques. Better transportation that ordinary civilians can take advantage of will allow shinobi to focus on shinobi things, distributing the workload to the community. And also, taxes must be. Sarah continued to discuss other things relative to the matter in question. While Roron was indeed surrounded by vast deserts, the desert itself became the camouflage of its advanced technology. Roron used both geothermal and hydrothermal technology, albeit cheating it with the Ryumyaku as its means of power source so as to not fully abuse the benefit of the said chakra ley line, and all technological improvement naturally followed. However, Roron kept their technology in tight confidentiality to protect the Ryumyaku ley line. However, with her now being accepted and living at Konoha, she just wanted to share her honest observation of the village's current status since the information was politely asked of her by the Hokage himself. Maybe from her suggestions, despite being an outsider, she can somehow help to improve the village's current economic status. Kakashi, Tsunade, and Shikamaru looked towards each other after hearing most of Sarah's explanations. Indeed, Shikamaru was right. Lady Sarah, if you don't mind, I have something very important to ask you, Kakashi said with a serious, business-like expression after her explanations. I am all ears, Hokage-sama, Sarah replied, returning the serious gesture to Kakashi. Do you want to become the Hokage? Sarah lightly broke her serious expression. We're being serious here, Kakashi. Tsunade yelled at her successor comically. Just kidding. Kakashi waved both his hands to Tsunade, then looked towards Sarah. You see, Lady Sarah, we have expected that you can share something regarding the development side of the village since aside from coming from a technologically advanced city, you're also a former queen, and those alone will make you a valuable asset for Konoha. You see, I have my hands full for being both the technical advisor and the administrative advisor to the Hokage, aside from the fact that I am also elected as the current head of the Nara clan, Shikamaru said, and due to the daimyo's law, I must also deal with this multiple wives thing. While we have Shizune as the Hokage's secretary, we still need someone who is highly capable of managing the administrative part of the village. Sarah immediately understood what Kakashi and Shikamaru meant. Hokage-sama, Shikamaru-san, you mean? Well, just as you have thought, if it's all right with you, we would like to hire you as Konoha's administrative head, not just an advisor, Kakashi said with an eye smile to the former queen. We need your experience and knowledge to improve Konoha's administrative side, so the Hokage and Shikamaru can focus on shinobi matters on hand. Too much paperwork is quite stressful for someone who spent most his life on the field. Sarah and Hinata looked towards each other, specifically after Kakashi emphasized the word Hokage. Kakashi didn't specifically mention himself, but instead, he used the term Hokage in that specific sentence, and it was enough for them to understand that Kakashi was preparing Sarah beforehand for his eventual retirement and passing the said position to his successor, so the administrative head can work hand in hand with the next Hokage. And most likely, he's no other than Uzumaki Naruto. I am very grateful for the trust you have given me. Sarah respectfully lowered her head, bowing to Kakashi. I'll gladly accept your offer, Hokage-sama. Welcome aboard, Lady Sarah, Kakashi said with a big smile, though hidden under his mask. At last, his paperwork will greatly decrease. Hinata approached Sarah from behind, then the two girls exchanged smiles. Congratulations, Sarah. I don't want to become a freeloader, after all, Sarah jokingly returned the gesture to her fellow fiancé. Tsunade observed the exchange between her godson's two fiancés, and she can't help but feel happy for him. He got two reliable women by his side. That Gaki, I bet you're enjoying your lazy ass out there seeing Naruto getting these two beautiful girls, huh, Jiraiya. Asterisk boo mmm asterisk asterisk. All of a sudden, a massive earthquake shook the entire Konoha. Flashback end. As Kakashi, Tsunade, Shikamaru, Hinata, and Sarah recollect themselves due to the sudden explosion that created an earthquake, after a few more minutes, a portal created by Rinnegan appeared on one of the sides of the walls of the Hokage office, with Team 7 and Karen coming out of the void. Sasuke immediately looked around, and after he saw that there was no random individual or outsider from the ones currently in the room, returned his attention to Tsunade, whom he gave a light bow to. Tsunade acknowledged the gesture with a light nod. Hinata, Sarah, what are you two doing here? Naruto immediately asked his two betrothed, surprised to see them in the Hokage tower. Sarah was summoned by Kakashi-sensei regarding some important matters. Hinata immediately answered, never mind that for now, what happened out there? We have no time to explain, Sasuke said, not directly replying to Hinata's question. He then activated his Sharingan, then cast a simultaneous genjutsu to Kakashi, Tsunade, Shikamaru, Hinata, and also included Sarah, since Sasuke deemed that Sarah was more or less involved in the current situation due to her being one of Naruto's fiancé and also, she was with Naruto during the time that they were ambushed by the Shin Uchihas. Sasuke's genjutsu showed every necessary information and event concerning Shin Uchiha, leading to the point of Morio's revival and the massive clash that gave a small leeway for them to prepare against the demon. However, he didn't include the other confidential information that they have discussed with Orochimaru, including the information of his secret collaboration with him, Six-Path Madara's lower half, and the Uchiha stone tablet. Now this is, indeed, something serious, Kakashi said after he saw the information provided by the genjutsu. Now I finally understand why Orochimaru sent me a notice that I must return to Konoha as soon as possible. Tsunade then looked towards Karen. He created his own version of a left arm to be installed into Sasuke created from grandfather and Uchiha Madara's DNA in hopes that Sasuke can fight evenly with Naruto against threats like Morio and also possibly the Otsutsukis. Karen nodded to the former Hokage. It seemed like Orochimaru already expected the sequence of events for Tsunade to return to Konoha at the exact moment that they might need her. However, while the notice that Orochimaru had sent to Tsunade was indeed true, regarding the left arm's component being Hashirama and Madara's cells, the snake Sanin purposely didn't mention that the cells used to create the arm were from Six Paths Madara's cells itself. And here I thought that you have mentioned before that your missing left arm will be the symbol of atonement for your past crimes, and I know that it is justifiable that you need a new left arm due to possible threats surfacing on the horizon, like this situation with Morio, Tsunade said towards Sasuke, but why the change of heart? Was your resolution so fickle that you can change your decisions in a heartbeat? Tsunade-sama, Sakura muttered as she heard the serious tone of her mentor towards Sasuke. Nothing will change, Sasuke replied as he looked directly towards Tsunade. My left arm, having a new one installed to it or not, will always be a symbol of atonement for my past crimes. Having a new left arm will never make me forget the sins I have committed from the past. However, I also have a role, and that will be to protect this thing that we have right now, Sasuke continued with a resolute expression, and for me to be able to do that, I need a new arm to assist Naruto in protecting the village and this world against such threats, and by doing so, will be my own way of continuously atoning for my past deeds. Tsunade and Sasuke then looked towards each other's eyes, both of them not moving an inch, nor even averting their gaze from each other. Tsunade wanted to see the extent of Sasuke's resolution, while Sasuke needed to show Tsunade that his newfound resolution wasn't as fickle as what she had just said earlier. Ba-chan, Naruto muttered, earning the attention of his godmother. Sasuke has already proven himself to the village, and he's continuously doing so, not just for the sake of the village, but also for the peace that we have fought so hard for. I know that you still can't fully trust Sasuke and Orochimaru due to what happened in the past, but if not because of them, the end of the last Shinobi World War would be entirely different, with us not having a chance to talk together like this. I know that Naruto, I know at least that much, Tsunade replied to the blonde shinobi, but without removing his eyes into Sasuke's. Fine, I'll have Shizune immediately contact the emergency room of Konoha General Hospital and prepare for the operation. Sakura, you'll need to come with me. Hi, Sakura said with a happy yet determined expression. Thank you. Sasuke lightly bowed his head in appreciation. I'll also need to come with you, Tsunade-sama, Karen also said. I engineered the construction of this left arm together with Orochimaru-sama, so in any case, I need to see if it will properly fit, and if not, I will perform immediate adjustments to that arm during the operation. Tsunade then once again looked towards Karen. Despite the girl being Orochimaru's subordinate, the slug Sanin can feel that the girl doesn't have any ulterior motives, and she can see that she's just worried for Sasuke's welfare. She even thought that Sakura and Karen might have cut from the same cloth. Seeing how much they love the brooding Uchiha, she then sighed in defeat, then replied with a nod to the redhead. How about you, Naruto? Shikamaru immediately asked his friend. Based on the genjutsu that Sasuke had shown us, you have agreed that you need to go to the land of demons without Sasuke due to his operation. Yes, that's right. We don't know how much time we had before Morio returns for him to claim his sealed physical body and aim against Shien's life. That's why I need to be there in advance to protect her until we were able to find a way to stop his never-ending revival cycle for good. Then, you're not going alone, Kakashi said to Naruto. That guy, right now, is as powerful as the Ten Tails. Last time, we have sent Sakura, Lee, you, and Neji as the priestess escort towards the sealing shrine. This time. No, I need to go alone, Kakashi-sensei, and since you already knew of the current level of power of our opposition, all the more so that I must go alone, Naruto replied with a serious expression. I don't want to sound rude, but I need to get to the land of demons as soon as possible, and having a party tagging along will just simply slow me down. But if worst comes to worst, you'll end up fighting alone against a being with powers comparable to the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, Naruto-kun. Hinata lightly raised her voice. Then the more reason why I must go alone, Hinata, Naruto rebutted. Like what you have said, I might end up facing Morio alone, and most likely, I'll be fighting while protecting Shien by that time, similar to what happened during our fight against Pain. In this situation, the best teamwork that we can do, is to leave matters to me alone for now. We don't need unnecessary sacrifices. If Sasuke's operation went smoothly, then he can be my backup. Then why don't we just postpone Sasuke-san's operation, and have it done once Morio has been defeated? Sarah asked Naruto, her face also with visible worry for him. It is a possible option, but we need a more foolproof solution. Naruto then began slowly removing the bandages that were covering his right arm. We can beat down Morio using our Six Paths chakra, but we will never be able to seal him because he feeds on that Six Paths chakra itself due to Shinju's influence. However, with Shien's power, we can beat him down and have him sealed away again. But a few generations later, he'll revive back again. Nothing is solved, and we're leaving the same mess to the future generation. But there's this option. Naruto then applied chakra on the now revealed right palm, and the symbol on Naruto's palm greatly surprised Sasuke. The Six Paths Yang power, the Sun Seal. Sasuke muttered after he saw the familiar symbol in Naruto's right palm. That's right, Sasuke, when my new right arm was installed, the Yang seal that was supposed to be gone after we sealed Kaguya had returned and embedded on my right palm again during my training at Mount Myokobu, so there is a high possibility that once your new left arm was installed, it might resonate with my Six Paths Yang power and you might also get back your Six Paths Yin power, the Crescent Seal, Naruto said. And we will use the Six Paths Yang and Yin power to augment the priestess power and possibly completely destroy Morio's existence, stopping his revival cycle once and for all. Sasuke summarized Naruto's plan. That's right, Naruto nodded. That's why if you have finally come to a decision, then have that left arm installed as soon and as fast as possible. Is it me, or you're giving us those instructions through Sasuke? Sakura said to Naruto while cracking her knuckles comically. No, not really, Naruto awkwardly dismissed Sakura's misinterpretation. Alright, let's move, Tsunade then said as she walked towards the exit of the Hokage's office. Be careful out there, Naruto, we'll have Sasuke sent to you as backup soon as possible. Don't do anything reckless, we'll be right behind you before you even know it. Sakura said to her blonde teammate as she followed her sensei. Karen simply waved her hand with a smile towards Naruto while lightly bowing to Kakashi before leaving. Sasuke, on the other hand, looked towards Naruto seriously for a few good seconds, upon which Naruto returned with his usual goofy grin. Sasuke smirked, then also left the Hokage office. If Morio was already active, most likely his stone army will also soon be on the move. I'll have to inform the other Kages regarding the situation, Shikamaru said as he walked towards Naruto, gave him a light tap on the shoulder before going out of the office. Naruto then gave a smirk towards Kakashi, then looked towards Hinata and Sarah as the three of them also left the office. As always, it all comes down to you, Naruto, Kakashi said with a sigh, but still, Lady Shien, why do I feel like I am forgetting something really important about her and Naruto? Scene change. Multiple Konoha shinobi were now being mobilized after Shikamaru's recall notice all over the village in preparation for a possible war against Morio's stone army. The streets became busy in preparation for the possible upcoming battle, another war that once again, if not stopped as intended, will change the entire shinobi world as a whole. On the veranda of the Hokage Tower, Naruto watched how the Konoha shinobi assembled to form their respective teams and parties, with Hinata and Sarah standing on both his sides. Hinata, I know you'll also be on the front lines against Morio's stone army. Don't exert yourself too much, you don't have to prove anything to anyone anymore, Naruto said with a concerned face to his Hyuga fiancé. Sarah, I'll have you stay at the Hokage Tower. Don't leave Kakashi-sensei and Shikamaru's side. I am sorry since things were like this ever since you came here to Konoha. The two girls looked towards him. He's the one who currently had the biggest responsibility regarding the current situation, yet he's still worrying about them. Naruto-kun, are you sure you're alright on your own against such an opponent? Hinata asked in sincere worry. Yeah, Naruto said to Hinata, I can't have a teammate whom I would end up needing to protect while I already have my hands full of protecting the priestess. That's why I can't take you with me, because if things got worse, if I end up protecting you over Shien, then we'll have no way to seal Morio away, and you know very well that I'll always end up protecting you, Hinata. Hinata smiled as she leaned her head on Naruto's right shoulder. Naruto. Sarah then spoke seriously towards her fiancé. We just met each other again, became engaged, yet we still weren't able to spend time properly together. That's why I need you to come back to me, to both of us. Oh, yeah, now that you've said it, Naruto then smiled at Sarah. I promise, once I return, we'll spend some quality time together, and besides, I am doing this to protect the two of you, that's why I just need you to trust me on this. Yes, I know, Sarah then hugged Naruto's left arm for a few good seconds. Time for me to go. Naruto then distanced himself from Hinata and Sarah, then once again accessed his Ashura Chakra mode. Almost everyone from the village stopped whatever they were doing right after feeling such a powerful presence due to the Ashura Chakra mode's activation. While the power they were feeling is quite overwhelming, they can also feel that it wasn't an oppressive, overbearing power. In fact, the power felt so warm that made them feel at ease despite the current situation. He then levitated, gave a confident grin to his two fiancés, then flew away towards the direction of the land of demons. Kya, Naruto-sama. Some younger kunoichi and even female civilians cheered after seeing Naruto take flight, making Sarah twitch her right eyebrow. What are those? She asked Hinata while pointing towards the cheering girls. Her expression was comically annoyed. Naruto's fangirls, Hinata replied with a sweat drop on her face. And you're fine with it? Sarah lightly yelled to Hinata, still with a comical annoyed face. Well, I can't do anything about it. Hinata gave her usual sweet smile to Sarah. Even before I came here, you were his fiancé. You must have shown those girls that Naruto is yours, you know. Sarah sighed in defeat. Well, that's just your personality, I guess, eh? Sarah then noticed that Hinata's current sweet smile did not disappear. However, she then suddenly felt a chilling atmosphere around her, making her comically jolt since she finally knew the source of such an ominous atmosphere. They can cheer for Naruto-kun as much as they can. I don't mind that, Hinata continued, her sweet smile still painted on her face. As long as they won't come near Naruto-kun. I already made my point to them some time ago after we returned from the moon mission, you know. Sarah gave a complicated expression upon hearing Hinata's words. How come such a sweet smile felt very ominous at the same time? How did you make your point to them, Hinata? Do you really want to know, Sarah? Never mind, I get it. The two girls then giggled at each other, then exchanged smiles. Hinata then bid farewell to Sarah, as she leapt down from the Hokage tower to join the war preparation, while Sarah went back to the Hokage office, intending to help the office with whatever task she can be of assistance. 5 Cage Online Summit. We have already mobilized 70% of the Hidden Cloud's active shinobi, Raikage said to the rest of the cage. If needed, we will also employ the chakra particle cannon to completely annihilate Morio's entire stone army in a single instance. That won't do, Raikage, Unoki retorted. Aside from the collateral damage that your chakra cannon might cause, the stone army will simply just regenerate even from out of nothing. They were part of Morio's power. It is either we seal them to stop their mobility until the controller, Morio itself, is defeated, or resealed. The chakra cannon will merely be used as our last option. Just like the situation when we were fighting against the Edo Tensei during the Fourth Shinobi War, Materumi added, so the shinobi army that we were currently mobilizing at the borders of the Land of Demons was merely to slow them down and limit their advances. That's right, Kakashi nodded. Just like from Morio's previous revival cycle, all we have to do is to hold out until Morio is defeated, and with Naruto and Sasuke's 6 paths power together with the priestess of the Land of Demons, they might even be capable of defeating that demon for good, stopping his seemingly never-ending revival cycle for good. But as far as I know, Naruto was the only one heading to the Land of Demons right now. Gaara inquired, will Sasuke be able to make it after his current operation? Or is he even in proper condition to help Naruto after performing the operation on his left arm? Sasuke has the Rinnegan, just like Madara. He can just plug and play those body parts if he wanted to, or at the very least, he should be capable of being able to adjust his physical body properly if he wanted to in a minimum amount of time, Raikage answered Gaara's question. Worst comes to worst, Naruto and the priestess were the ones who have defeated and sealed Morio from its previous revival cycle, Kakashi added. If Sasuke won't make it, I'd like to bet that Naruto and Lady Shion can do the same here as they did so in the past. But Morio was much more powerful now due to the influence of the Shinju. And according to the reports, Morio has power comparable to that of the Jubi Jinchuriki already, Materumi said. Her concern, that was aside from the fact that he had absorbed multitude amounts of Mangekyo Sharingan, with one of those eyes being used by its host himself. Due to the said factor and with the Shinju's influence, there is a possibility that the said Sharingan might evolve into something else. Will Naruto and this priestess be enough to handle such power? You have seen a glimpse of what Naruto is capable of during his small sparring with Sasuke before, right? Unoki was the one who answered this time. He's a lot stronger now, and also has the powers of all the Biju at his disposal. He is the pseudo-Jubi Jinchuriki right now, so power-wise, he might be the only one capable of fighting against Morio on equal grounds. He accepted that power for him to shoulder responsibilities such as this. And knowing him, he'll always be up to it, Gaara said with a small smile. Scene change. Main village of the Land of Demons. The moment that Naruto saw the main gate of the village while still on flight, he dispelled his Ashura chakra mode midair, then landed on the ground gracefully in front of the said main gate. There was a visible increase of guards at the village's gate, and some of them even pointed their ranged weapons against him. Who or why? It's him. One of the guards yelled in angrily at first, but after recognizing him, his tone changed to a relieved yet also excited one. It really is him, the hero of the Land of Demons, and now the hero of the entire shinobi world. Uzumaki Naruto-sama. Hello. Naruto greeted awkwardly as the main gate opened for him. The village guards opened the main gate and welcomed him with faces filled with excitement, to the point that they gathered around him while asking some random questions about whatever things. While already familiar, Naruto still just can't get used to this kind of feeling and attention he was getting since the end of the Fourth Shinobi War. Ehem, a voice of a woman echoed, making the guards flinch, then immediately returned to their respective posts. We're currently preparing for Morio's inevitable arrival. Don't be too complacent because Uzumaki-sama had already arrived. Hi. Thanks, Naruto thanked the woman. You're most welcome. I am Kikyo, the current attendant and caretaker of Lady Shion. The woman introduced herself. I am the younger sister of Taruho, Lady Shion's former guardian. Taruho. Oh yeah, Taruho Nisan, Naruto then remembered the guy. Taruho was the one who insisted to come with them during their past escort mission to help Shien reseal Morio despite the foresight of him dying to protect her. And just like on the foresight, Taruho died protecting Shien by shapeshifting as her, making him be targeted by Morio's men back then to buy time, and Taruho's death allowed Naruto to further understand Shien's feelings back then. Naruto then observed the appearance of the woman who just welcomed him. She had black eyes, feminine face, and long black hair ponytailed on the level of her nape. She's wearing a Miko outfit, with white hakui as her upper attire and red nagabakama on her lower body. However, the red sash tying her nagabakama that was hugging her waist made her display her feminine figure, and similar to Taruho, she had a bow and arrow quiver equipped on her back for easy access in need of battle. Lady Shien had instructed me to guide you to the temple, Kikyo said in a formal tone. Please follow me. All right. Naruto simply nodded in return, but I already know my way in here, and we're in a rush. Morio might arrive here anytime. But, sorry, I have to go. Then take me there with you. Kikyo looked towards him with a serious expression, puzzling the blonde shinobi. We're in a hurry, right? Kikyo then gave him a calm, small smile. All right. Naruto then sighed, then disappeared, and reappeared right behind Kikyo, then lifted her princess style, hold tight. Wait, but her plea ended on deaf ears as Naruto leapt towards the direction of Shien's temple. The moment Naruto landed in front of the ancient-looking Japanese temple, he immediately let down Kikyo and ran inside the temple. Kikyo, I told you that I still am preparing, the priestess immediately muttered after hearing someone walking from the main door of the temple, but much to her surprise. Yo, Shien, it's been a while. Naruto greeted Shien as casually as possible. Shien ended up with a visible surprised expression. Shien observed Naruto's current physiques and appearance. It might be his high-collared red sage cloak with black flaming hemline, might be the Junin vest underneath that cloak, might be his growth spurt, but still, the Naruto in front of her right now seemed so familiar, yet seemed so different at the same time. However, that smile of his, that infectious smile of his was what made her feel like Naruto is the same person that she always used to know. Naruto, on the other hand, observed Shien's current appearance. She's wearing the same yet more elegant shrine maiden attire as Kikyo, with pink-colored haori and red-colored nagabakama. The bangs of her long, blonde hair retained its hime-cut style, while the hair was also tied in the same level as of her nape. She also donned a golden crown befitting her as the current ruler of the land of demons. Purple eyes meet azure eyes, one in surprised expression and one in confident expression. Then, so, you're already here, Uzumaki Naruto. Shien's expression suddenly changed into that of a serious tone. Naruto tilted his head. This is the same expression that she had when they first met, an annoyed, neutral expression to hide her true feelings for those who were important to her. I am sorry, Lady Shien. Kikyo also entered the temple right behind Naruto. I wasn't able to buy time in. Don't worry, it is fine, you did a good job, Kikyo. Shien then gave a sincere smile towards her attendant. After he saw that smile, Naruto then sighed in relief, then also smiled. He thought that Shien reverted to her brash, self-centered self, similar to her character during the first time he met her. However, when Shien returned her attention to Naruto, her expression once again became a cold glare, making Naruto jolt. Shien then turned around, then continued performing some sort of ritual in front of an altar while performing some unique hand seals that can only be performed by the priestess of the land of demons. Shien, I bet you already knew why I am here. Yes, you're here because of Morio. Yeah, we need to defeat that thing once again. And we might be able to completely destroy him this time and stop his revival cycle for good. Good to know, you're here because of my power, and not because of me, right? What kind of question is that? But still, I am glad to see you again. Liar. Hey, Shien, what's the matter? Naruto asked, not used to the cold shoulder. Nothing. Shien replied without looking back. If it's nothing, then why are you like that? I have no business telling you. Hey, don't act like we're not friends. I thought we were already close friends after we defeated Morio last time, remember? I thought so as well. Naruto felt a vein on his head starting to react. Naruto-sama, Lady Xian was preparing a very important seal that might work against Morio, Kikyo said behind him. She might need to concentrate her. I know. Naruto then lowered his head while calming himself. Well, I guess I am just bothering you then, he then said while looking towards Xian's back. It's not like that, Xian replied, her voice a bit loosened up, but still didn't look back at him. Then why are you like this to me? What have I done to you to give me a cold shoulder like this? That's the point, you haven't done anything, you didn't do anything. About what? Figure it out yourself, exclamation mark. Naruto narrowed his eyes. Xian might have been acting tough, but he can feel some pain in her voice. Please tell me if can help you with something. Xian didn't respond, After a few more minutes, Naruto then turned around, then walked towards the main door of the temple. Yeah, right, Konoha sent me here to assist you in defeating and sealing Morio, Lady Xian, and my role is to act as your guardian and protect you from Morio until we defeated and resealed him, Naruto said in a respectful way, similar to how a shinobi reports to his commander. I sincerely apologize for trying to cross the boundary of our relationship as the priestess and a mere escort, Priestess Sama. The sudden change in Naruto's tone made Xian jolt this time. She turned around and was about to talk to him. However, Naruto continued his track to the main door of the shrine, then once outside, leapt on top of the highest part of the temple's roof. Lady Xian, Kikyo looked towards Xian with a sad expression. Xian then stopped her ritual, then looked towards Kikyo. The priestess then gave a small smile towards her. I am sorry, Kikyo. Kikyo then saw a lone tear falling down Xian's cheek. The meeting between her priestess and the hero of Konoha was not exactly the same as she had expected. What should I do? Xian said, her voice lightly shaking. I made him angry. Kikyo looked towards Xian with an apologetic expression. The world needs the priestess power. Naruto came all the way here to once again help me seal Morio, and yet, Xian looked down, as if afraid of something. I, still, can't use the power of the bell. I still can't access the same power that I used to seal Morio from before. The ritual that Xian was currently doing, was for her trying to access the depths of her powers using the same hand seals that she used at Morio's shrine before in her attempt to seal the demon. However, Kikyo understood and knew very well why Xian wasn't able to use her power. And the answer to that, was Uzumaki Naruto himself. That's why when the two met again, Kikyo expected that things might develop for the better and Xian might be able to access her powers again. Yet, this is the worst possible scenario, Kikyo muttered to herself, yet loud enough for Xian to hear. Scene change. GHHH. Sasuke gritted his teeth as the operation needed to attach his new left arm began at the Konoha General Hospital's operating room. Tsunade was performing the medical operation herself, while Sakura was aiding Tsunade by handling the necessary medical tools needed during the operation, all the while providing medical ninjutsu to Sasuke's flesh where the left arm was being attached. Karen, on the other hand, attached multiple malleable transparent medical tubes to both of Sasuke's arms and used some sort of equipment to regulate the density and properties of the cells of the left arm to fit its properties as Sasuke's new arm. Sasuke declined the anesthesia beforehand because that way, he can feel the compatibility of the new cells that were being attached to his left arm. After all, he can clearly remember how Black Zetsu affected Madara to transform him into Kaguya back then. While Black Zetsu was already sealed together with Kaguya in the Genesis dimension, he can't take chances due to the possibility that there might also be remnants of Black Zetsu's consciousness aside from Madara's within the foreign left arm since it was created from six-path Madara's cells. In a small chance it might happen, he'll just need to immediately sever the left arm away and burn it to ash with Amaterasu. Are you okay, Sasuke? Sakura asked in concern towards her fiancé. Don't mind me, do what you need to do, Sasuke replied while gritting his teeth due to pain, and don't talk to me for now, I need to concentrate. Sasuke-kun, Sakura muttered to herself. Sakura, Karen said to her fellow fiancé, when Sasuke used the Susanoo for the first time, he said that he can feel so much pain in every cell of his body. Sakura looked towards Karen. That's why you need to believe that he can handle this, as his woman, that's all you need to do, Karen said with a smile to the Pinkett. Sakura then returned the gesture, and after she saw something on Karen, you say that, yet you're also trembling upon seeing Sasuke-kun's pained reaction. Of course, he'll also be worried. I also am his woman, you know. You too. Tsunade yelled to the two girls, if you have time to chit-chat, then focus on what you need to do. Hi. The two girls answered in unison. Damn it, I also am against that law, Tsunade muttered to herself pertaining to the new law by the daimyos, but seeing how things are turning out for Naruto and this Uchiha kid including the circumstances of these girls around them, that law might not really be that bad, or isn't it? Tsunade then imagined her former fiancé, Dan Kato, having to comply with the said law. No, I'd rather drag Dan away to the mountains so that I can have him all by myself. Scene change. Unknown location. Good. Shin's body have finally recovered and has already adjusted to my power. Morio spoke within Shin's body, flexing its arms and neck exaggeratedly. It's time for us to move and assimilate that priestess. Understood. Morio-sama, the deformed creature with Sharingan spoke, preparing to cast his space-time jutsu directly within the domain of the land of demons nearest to the priestess temple. Right now, I can feel that power of the priestess had greatly diminished, and she doesn't have enough power to reseal me in her current state, Morio said in malicious grin. I failed to assimilate her last time due to her newly developed divine power that was sealed by her mother, Miroku. However, with her current state, I can easily assimilate her right now, thus allowing myself to be complete once again, on the same state before Kaguya Otsutsuki divided us in half. But Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke will most likely come after you, my lord. Those two, Kaguya's descendants. Morio said in annoyed tone, I already have fought against the one named Naruto before, as he was the one who foiled my attempt to assimilate the current priestess during my previous revival cycle. While he didn't have access to Six Paths chakra that time, he gave the priestess the necessary power and determination that allowed her to seal me back then. And he will most likely be together with the priestess again this time, Morio said with narrowed eyes. He is the key to the priestess power, similar to how Miroku was able to gain the same power to defeat me from the past by protecting her daughter, the current priestess herself. That's why I won't allow them to realize the key on regaining the priestess power that could reseal me again. I'll assimilate the priestess before they could even comprehend it. Morio then suddenly felt something pulsing within his body. He then looked towards his right palm, as if trying to sense the weird sensation he just felt. Morio-sama, the Sharingan creature spoke with a surprised expression. Your chin, it suddenly had a weird marking on it. This is, while Morio cannot literally see what the creature saw on his chin. He somehow has an idea of what the seal on his chin might be. After all, he's using Shin Uchiha's body as his vessel, a body of a shinobi that was also a descendant of the Sage of the Six Paths, with chakra rooted from the goddess of chakra herself, Kaguya Otsutsuki, and since Shin has unique body capable of accepting anything transplanted to him, there is no way that Shin's body can reject such a seal, Kaguya's Otsutsuki's seal. What is that, Lord Morio? It simply means that we don't have much time, Morio said with urgency in his voice. Of course, it is possible. Why have I not thought about it sooner? The demon narrowed his eyes seriously. While this body from Shin is a special one due to its unique genetic property, then this body is easily compatible with And this might have been triggered by the absorbed stump of the Shinju itself within my body. That's why I really need to get my real body and discard this vessel, or I'll be the one at a very big disadvantage. As you wish, Lord Morio. The deformed creature then completely cast his space-time jutsu, allowing themselves to be warped to their targeted location. Scene change. Naruto was currently meditating at the highest peak of the temple's rooftop. While he was actively scanning the area around the village where he's currently situated, his mind was currently occupied of how Shion talked and treated him earlier. What's wrong with her? If there's something wrong, she could just say it up front and tell me. Both of them, more or less, have the same sad experience during their childhood days. He was shunned by nearly the entire village due to him being the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki, and according to Taruho before, Shion was also avoided by people from her village due to the power of her foresight, capable of discerning the death of those who were close to her. Both of them tried their best to prove themselves to their own respective villages. They knew what they needed to do, and in the process, their respective villages gradually warmed up to them, accepting them as who they were. In the end, both of them were acknowledged due to their hard work, with Shion saving the world by defeating Morio with Naruto's help. while Naruto being the main factor in saving the world from Kaguya Otsutsuki's infinite Tsukuyomi, among others. I know you have something in your mind, but I can't just leave you alone like that, Shien, Naruto said while thinking of the priestess, as he then felt another presence on the side of the roof where he was currently meditating. I am sorry for being a bother, Naruto-sama. No, it's fine, Kikyo, right? Yes, I am Kikyo. Shien's attendant smiled at him. Naruto then stood up, allowing the mild breeze of wind lightly blew his hair and sage cloak. I know you may not answer, but let me just ask, what happened to Shien? Or rather, why was she acting like that towards me? Lady Shien said that you must figure it out yourself earlier, right? That barely answered my question. I am not a mind reader, you know. Then you must remember everything that happened between the two of you. I can clearly remember everything. I can clearly remember how she did her best to hide her own feelings for the sake of her people who were afraid of her powers. She acted emotionlessly despite someone close to her died for her sake, yet she was the one who was hurting the most. She acted selfishly, yet she didn't hesitate to sacrifice herself in her attempt to defeat Morio using her own life. She acted tough, yet she just wanted to protect her people, even to the point of sacrificing her own emotion, feelings, and even her life for the heck of it. That's the Shien that I knew. Naruto said all those words with a resolute expression while looking in distance, his eyes focused on the distant horizon. Kikyo was surprised after hearing Naruto's words about Shien. His words fully encapsulated everything she also knew about her priestess. With her growing up in the temple together with his late brother, she can say that she knew Shien more than anyone else in the land of demons, and yet here's a guy who had only met Shien once, fought together with her, yet he can say that much of what kind of person Shien was. That was enough to make her smile to herself. Things might not really be too late, she thought. You're just like the person that she used to tell us, Naruto-sama. What do you mean? You see, after the two of you defeated Morio back then, I immediately worked as her attendant in lieu of my late brother, Kikyo said with a smile. During that time, we saw how Lady Shien had slowly changed for the better. She began working diligently, yet she became much kinder to those around her. She tried making amends for things that she lacked before. She became a proper leader of the village aside from continuing her duties as the current priestess of the land of demons. That's good to hear. Naruto then smiled, imagining a hard-working Shien while being kind to those around her. However, there is this one specific change that we observed regarding her. What's that? Whenever she's in a bind, work-related and such, she will mutter softly. What would Naruto do in this kind of situation? She kept working hard as the current village head, yet she never complained. I even asked why was she working this much, and all that she replied was, she needs to catch up to you, because she wholeheartedly believed that you'll fulfill your dream of becoming a Hokage one day, so she must become a person who can stand with you on equal grounds, as the leader of her own village as well. Naruto can't help but feel embarrassed about the amount of trust that Shien had in him. You see, due to her curiosity about you, some of us within the inner temple knew a lot about you, Naruto-sama, Kikyo said while looking at the sky. Konoha's Kyuubi Jinchuriki, Uzumaki Naruto. So Shien already knew that much, Naruto muttered with a small smile. You defeated a genius during the Chunin exams, fought and defeated the Jinchuriki of the hidden village of the sand. Helped Jiraiya-sama on convincing Tsunade-sama on becoming the 5th Hokage, Kikyo said while nodding to herself. Saved Tsunade's cage against Akatsuki, fought against other, but more powerful members of that same organization, including its supposed leader, Pain, making you the hero of Konoha. During the recently concluded Shinobi War, you played various critical roles and became the main instrument in ending the said war. And the most recent, saved the world from the falling moon by defeating the one who instigated the incident. Well, should I commend you for knowing all those things? Naruto joked in a sarcastic tone. What I mean was, even when you're apart, Lady Shien knew everything about you, Kikyo said with a sad smile, including your engagement with the Byakugan princess of the Hyuga clan, Hyuga Hinata-san. Naruto then looked towards Kikyo, and what of it? I knew it, Kikyo muttered to herself. She wanted to tell him everything, but she didn't have any right to do so. However, the best that she can do right now, was the thing that she must say to him. After all, she had a very important thing that she needed to inform him that might affect the course of their inevitable battle against Morio. Naruto-sama, Kikyo said with a serious expression, I believe that you already knew very well how powerful Morio is, and also where he draws his power source, right? More or less, Naruto said, as he then looked towards one specific direction with a glare, as if sensing something dangerous towards that direction. He draws his power from negative energies and emotions around the world, but he is much more powerful now due to the multitude of Mangekyo Sharingan he absorbed from the Shin clones and also due to the Shinju's influence. And he's already here, exclamation mark. Kikyo gave a surprised expression after hearing Naruto's words, we need to prepare then. No need, Naruto replied as he walked past Kikyo, I'll get Shion down there, and whether she likes it or not, we must fight against Morio together. Kikyo then lowered her head, and before Naruto could leap down towards the temple's main door, you're right about Morio's power source, he feeds on negative energies and emotions. And that's how and why the priestesses were able to neutralize and seal Morio from the past, regardless of how powerful he is. What do you mean? The priestess powers, since the older generations, draws their power within them, and that power can only be manifested, if they have the two important factors within their feelings, and those two factors are directly opposite from the power where Morio draws his, Kikyo said, with Naruto looking at her, sideways. A power directly opposite from Morio's power source. I have no other words for now, like what Lady Shion had said, you have to figure it out yourself. What? Naruto reacted in his usual comical complaining reaction, we don't have the leisure being Sherlock here. Kikyo simply returned the gesture with a smile, then leapt down to the ground. I am leaving Lady Shion to you, please protect her with everything that you can, just like how you did so in the past. You don't have to tell me, I'll do it whether she likes it or not. Naruto then used Shunshin towards the temple's main door. Scene change. Shion heard a barging door, followed by the appearance of Uzumaki Naruto who was running towards her. Lady Shion, Naruto called her respectively, his eyes all serious, implying that he intended to keep his distance for now unless Shion warms back to him. I apologize for the inconvenience, but Morio is already on his way here. To protect the village, we must leave from here and have him follow us to the shrine where we will fight and seal him once again. Naruto, Shion said with a soft tone, she's still torn about something, yet she can't say it by herself, I am sorry. For what? Shion then walked slowly towards him. For the way I talked to you earlier, Shion continued. It's fine, I just go ahead and think that you're not in the mood, like, it might be your period or something, Naruto got hit by a flying slipper sharply thrown by the blonde priestess. It is not because of something like that, you dense dimwit. Why'd you do that? You just apologized, yet you're still throwing tantrum like that. It's because you're at fault here, eh? Before Shion could complete her rebuttal, Naruto appeared beside her and lifted her up in princess carry, similar to how he used to carry her from the past, making her remember everything that happened during their previous fight against Morio, including the feelings that she tried to bury within her heart. We don't have much time, I know you may not like it with me carrying you like this, but this is the only way for the two of us to move properly so I can protect you against Morio, Naruto said with his usual confident, yet serious expression. I know. Shion then placed her left arm around Naruto's neck, trying to hide her face from the blonde shinobi. Hold on tight, well depart from the village right now. Naruto then went outside the temple, then began moving at high speeds. By the way, Shion, did you gain some weight? I mean, you're slightly a bit heavier now than BEF, He felt a light smack from Shion before he could finish his statement. You're not the only one who grew up and matured. Shion yelled again at her. She then buried her face into his chest, trying her best to hide her embarrassment. I am not just a girl anymore. I am now a grown, adult woman, who, This is why I came to hate you. Naruto then looked towards Shion. He can't see her face due to the angle, but he can feel the earnest emotion from the girl after muttering those words. Yeah, I don't know why you feel like that, but I know I did something bad to you, that's why, I am sorry, Shion. Shion then tightened both her left and right arm that was hugging Naruto. Don't apologize, if you don't know why you have to, idiot. Scene change. GGGHHH, Sasuke gritted his teeth in pain as the operation continued. He's doing everything he can to keep himself from passing out due to the immense pain that he was currently feeling. Hang in there, Sasuke-kun, Sakura said with a worried expression, while Tsunade was having a hard time performing the operation. This is different from Naruto's case, Tsunade said as beads of sweat fell down from her face. Naruto's and my grandfather's cells totally matched each other, that's why the right arm wasn't rejected. However, this arm, despite being made from Uchiha Madara's cells, was being rejected by Sasuke's, or rather, they are fighting for dominance against each other. Then what should we do? Should we stop the operation? Karen asked. No, we already have made it this far, Sasuke said in a rugged voice. Naruto would make fun of me if this left arm defeated me. You're still thinking of your rivalry with Naruto, even in this current situation, Sakura said in a complaining tone. We can still do this, but due to the current development, we lack the right personnel to do so, Tsunade said. The cells from the left arm were fighting for dominance against Sasuke's own cells, while Sakura was melding the tissues using her medical ninjutsu. I'll have to neutralize the aggressive cells using my own medical ninjutsu, but what we lack right now was the very person who will replace me from my current task of performing the physical operation and stitching of cells and tissues together. Let me, I can do that, Karen said as she was about to stand and leave the machine she was currently monitoring and operating. You can't. That machine regulates the prosthetic left arm's cells so it can be compatible with Sasuke's cells. If you leave it behind, no one will operate that machine to monitor and regulate the left arm's cells. Tsunade replied. Sakura narrowed her eyes. What should we do? Excuse me, a voice came from outside the curtain. We're currently in a delicate operation right now, what do you want? Tsunade answered promptly. I apologize in advance, but I just heard about your current troubles regarding the ongoing operation, and I am willing to assist and perform the task at hand. The voice of a girl replied as she opened the curtains of the operating room. I have traveled across the world, trying to master medical operations as a doctor in profession, not as a medical ninja, so my expertise can help you with your current operation if you want mine. Upon seeing the girl who just opened the curtain, Sakura, and even Sasuke, who can barely keep his consciousness intact, somehow recognized the girl. This girl, Sasuke muttered. You are, Sakura said, her eyes widening. Hi, it's Amaru, Shino's former apprentice, now a full-fledged medical doctor, the girl replied with a small smile. Thanks for watching.